Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Is that a storm?
Yeah.
That was cool. Thank you. Hey, it's DJ Scotty, blah, blah, blah. Uh-oh, see. That's what I hate when I do this. See how it's not working? I think maybe I gotta close that. Now it'll work. So I can oh yeah. Sexy. Yeah, we're live on YouTube, by the way, folks.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, we're live. We're live. Yeah.
Okay, great.
We're live. Danny, you want to move that camera, or Dino, or somebody, one of you, do something? Jesus. Cheese and rice. We're live, by the way, on YouTube.
Oh, it's not on?
Huh? Yeah, you can do that.
Go ahead and turn it on.
What's that? Turn what on?
Yeah, we've been sitting here with our shit plugged in, and the surge protector's not on.
Check your headphones. Make sure they're plugged in.
I think we got everybody.
Yeah, I like the angle, too. I think it's cool.
A little bit of a dangle. Got a good angle.
A little dangle, do ya? We're live on YouTube, by the way.
Yay! Hey, YouTubers.
Hey, YouTubers, all of you nothingers. That didn't make sense,
Wait
did
a
it?
second. We got one. What? That's you, Pat. Never mind.
Is that you, Pat?
What?
YouTube.
On YouTube. Where's that Dino? Dino, is
It's not
that
me.
you? Huh?
No, we have
We
a
have
my
a
God.
live one.
Don't let him go!
quick, start doing something.
Somebody tap dance.
Quick,
to-
dance on the
Entertain
table.
them.
God.
We
That's
gotta-
a sad.
we got to put a pole back over here in the
freaking
corner
sad
so we
state
can,
of
we can
affairs.
pole dance or something.
We see one viewer on YouTube. We start going, shit, Zoid, man. Ah! That's funny. I'm going to turn this.
And that's
towards the
probably
camera.
Scotty.
Just look. It'll make me look cool. What do you think? What do you think?
That's
No,
impossible
nobody
for
can
you.
even see it.
More TV.
So I see you managed to survive the bathroom.
Barely.
Oh my God! Did you have a haircut before you went in there?
No, I didn't.
All right. Look at this, man. We're rocking and rolling. Let's go live now.
Why not?
Hey, let's do it.
I'm going to say let's do it.
You want to do it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. What do you think we should do it? Is that somebody coming downstairs?
No, that's thunder.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know you have a
Great.
severe...
Hey, being that I don't like country music and I refer to it as country and western music, this is the world according to Mike. I'm military Mike and I'm taking over. We're live on the radio.
just,
It's got real quiet.
just the radio?
Well, no, we've been live on YouTube for a minute or two because we were screwing around acting silly. But hey, guess what, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, dogs and cats, and loose gorillas that are still alive.
Dun, dun, dun.
Cincinnati. Gorilla Lives Matter. Everybody. Power
Wait
to
a
the people.
second. Silverbacks?
I'm a silverback.
I know.
Hey, it's Military Mike. It is, I'm slowly wasting time as it comes up to the 1900 hour. That's right after 1800, right before 2000. And hey, there it is. It's 1900. Welcome to the world according to Mike. This is
Yay!
Military
We made it.
Mike, along with his adorable co-host, Variable Speed. How are you doing?
I'm on top speed today.
Yeah, you've been crapping up the studio ever since you got here. All right, and our additional co-host, which would be the co-host, is Captain Pat.
That would be co-host.
Or yeah,
He's a ho-host.
is he? Are you a hoe? So basically, you don't get paid for it.
Well, that makes the other one a...
Sex trophy.
Yay! Hi.
All right, the
about
studio
no?
tonight we have Dino, D as in Dino, not the dog from the Flintstones, because that dog actually did something. Okay, so here we are. It's the world according to Mike. It's another Wednesday night. I don't know about you boys and girls, but currently in the Atlanta area, we are having, well, some storms. So if while you're listening or watching,
We just suddenly disappear.
it's not because we don't want to be here. It's because
We have to run.
Variable Speed went in the bathroom again.
Yay!
And quite frankly, there's just limitations on what a man can take.
No shit.
And I
It's a lot.
literally.
Literally.
I was gonna put up a picture of the radar picture thingamajob. It looks like an active case of Ebola. Look at that.
Don't even bother. Just
Holy crap.
look up
Yeah.
downtown
I-
Houston and you will see what Atlanta's about to look like.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't like to look at other states right now because there is so much going on in other states.
Well, and Georgia gets jealous.
I am scared turdless to go to Cincinnati. I'm scared
You
turdless
might
to
get
go to,
shot.
yeah,
Yeah.
any zoo. Have you seen me without a shirt on? Oh,
Yeah.
I reached down for a kid. Some freaking DNR guy's going to pop me. So
I
no.
know, but just don't reach for his legs.
Well, what aren't those handles? Just ask my little son.
You know what? It
Yeah.
makes it easier to hold on to them.
It does, and you know what? It puts their head further from me.
Right. You
Which
know,
is
so-
where the screaming parts are.
And the other
And the
thing is when they go to
noises
belch
and-
or burp or
Yeah.
something always
Yeah.
comes up with it. So you may as well do it that way. You can angle it where it's going to go and not on you.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, see, now we're thinking. My daughter, my oldest child, who I love better than the other ones. Yeah, it's a little tension there.
love your
Even the
dog
ones you
more.
don't know about.
I know about all of them. It's not like I fall asleep and get laid. She's so
You'll be
far
lucky
few
if
in
you get
between.
that.
Shut up! Did you hear that? Oh my God, it's gonna be one of those nights. Long walk home, Junior. So here we are, and I forgot what I was talking about. Two
Daughters.
things. Was that
You were on Daughters.
daughters? Yeah, my favorite child. Basically, when she used to throw up as a young one, she did what we refer to as projectile vomiting.
That's
And
awesome.
now look, this kid had perfected it where she could throw up 4 to 8 gallons of whatever she had been eating, storing, foraging, and go like this, and not get but a dribble right here, and go, oh, I feel better, Daddy. Yeah, and you're like, I've been slimed.
Aw.
Yeah, so I don't know how she pulls that off, but
My son would only throw up from the top bunk. He would never throw up when he was on the bottom bunk. We learned that after a while.
now did he throw up in bed or throw up over the side?
Oh, it was up over the side,
Over
but
the side, yeah.
we
Have you ever
my-
seen those kids that just throw up on themselves? These are future Democrats.
yes. Sorry.
I'm not sure where that was going.
Mm,
I wanted to get variable speed going here so I could drink some beer.
yeah, no. I don't you don't need to get me started on Democrats. I just spent the entire week with the ex-wife.
You have an ex-wife? I never knew you were a lesbian.
No. When I
That's why
married
she's an
him,
ex- that's
when I
why it's
married
an
him, I
ex-wife.
acquired an ex-wife.
Hey, look, Cat and Pat.
Yeah.
I did not go there. I didn't even drive in the same zip code as there, but I knew at some point during our brief Wednesday nights together, especially this Wednesday night, that my adorable, loving co-host, Variable Speed, was going to
Go full
what?
bitch on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
let
knew-
me
Yep,
explain.
and here it comes.
Let me just explain. 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes
All right,
to
baby,
get this
you got it. You got it.
venting
5
out.
minutes right now.
Because-
Hold on. Wait. You have 1 second
When-
and go.
Okay, this woman is so bloody just annoying that I had to double up on my medication to the point where it almost killed me just to be in the room with her. I bit my tongue so hard that I'm pretty sure I've pierced it in several places. And I can't even speak when I think about her. I can't stand this woman. I hate her more than I hate my ex-husband.
4
And
minutes, 30 seconds.
I could spend a whole week trying to stab him with a freaking pillow. I'd like to have harder objects, but I could make anything I wanted to go straight through his heart because that's how much I can't stand him. I don't like her more. She is truly the epitome of evil. I'm pretty sure she has Down syndrome, but we're not allowed to talk about that. Nor are we allowed to talk about the other things that she has done wrong in her life, i.e., liar, about every single thing that she's ever done in her life.
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Can I keep going? Can I keep going? Am I allowed?
Yeah, no, you're.
Matt, are you giving me that look yet of just don't say it? Don't. Okay, I'm going to say it.
3 minutes.
First of all,
45
ladies,
seconds.
If you have absolutely no idea who the father of your child is, don't blame the first man that comes around you. Don't do it because it's not his fault you're a slut. Just leave it alone. Walk away from it. Don't ruin a man's life just because you've had sex with, like, I don't know, 20 people. Just don't do it. If you can't figure out who the father is, don't blame anybody until you can DNA test them. Men, while you're out there, don't listen to these women. They will blame you for things that you haven't even done yet. This is a good time to talk about that toilet paper one. Oh my gosh.
3 minutes, contestant.
fall
3
for
minutes
it.
left.
Don't fall for it. I can't believe her stupidity level. I need a break. I need a drink. Do you have anything else to drink? It's just beer?
I believe it's just beer. There might be wine in there, but
Is there any kind of rules against letting the kid go get a beer?
No, well, he can go get it from the refrigerator.
He just can't open it.
No.
You'll
It's
have
okay.
to open it.
It's okay. I'm not going to make the kid touch a beer.
No, you want a beer?
I've done it twice.
How do you think these beers
Well,
got
you
over here?
Go ahead, pop the top, take the neck off. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do it.
You want a beer?
No, I can't drink. If I drink now, I will just go berserk. You have no idea. I'm
Go
still
get a beer.
holding on
It's
to.
not a good thing.
All right,
No.
all right, no beers. No beers.
No.
Okay, well, you still have time left.
I know, but I'm
you
gonna
have
let
2
it go.
minutes.
I'm
2
gonna
minutes.
let it go.
You done?
I'm gonna let
You
it
done?
go. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about this anymore tonight.
Woosah.
Okay, yeah, bring the Chinese into it.
Oh, I can nuke them.
Then you still got 2 minutes left.
I can't.
Okay. All right, let's get it out.
The children may be listening.
Let's get it out. We got 2 viewers. Might as well kill them. Or at least the suicide hotline number is 1-800. If you don't care,
Why don't
we
they have
don't
a
care.
homicide hotline?
They do. It's called 911.
I'm sorry. You have a problem. Call 911.
A listener just said she doesn't need wine. There's enough wine on the show.
Shut up, Jeff.
Oh, Sabo, up and on the way. All right, so let's see. Moving right along, Captain Pat, how are you this fine rainy Wednesday?
I'm doing good.
Any additional supporting documentary type information ish?
Yes.
I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah. Hey,
from this week.
if you're in Georgia
Yes.
and you're going to get your driver's license,
Yes.
if you have a pretty little star in the corner, you're golden. Most of us don't have that pretty little star in the corner of our license. So let me just go ahead and give you fair warning. Social Security card, original birth certificate.
No can do here.
Yeah, original.
Yeah.
Not a fake, not a copy, an original.
No license
and
for
by the way,
Obama.
Yeah, and if you're military, take your DD Form 214, go by the nearest VA.
Yeah, can't you get it like off
It took him 5 minutes to type up the form. I walked in there, I handed him the form,
And he got his license
and
for
I got
free.
my license for free because it's now $4 per year, and they only issue an 8-year license, so it's $32 to get your license.
What if I don't plan on being alive for 8 years?
Wait. You get a free license if you're a veteran?
Yes, you do.
Do all veterans know this?
We are going
Well,
to
if
be
they
putting
don't,
it up.
they need to know it.
Damn. Let's post that. Someone please post that on the World According to Mike, and let's push that out to everybody. See, that's the kind of good information.
Well,
we need.
but that's
Veterans
state by
helping veterans.
That's right.
The
but that's-
Foxhole Support.
It is
Network.
state by state though.
Oh yeah, I don't care about other states.
Georgia,
Yeah.
it's a free license for veterans. In
That's
other states,
awesome.
it's may depend upon whether you actually.
Well, at least we'll put a bug in veterans' ears where they can call and find out.
Right.
Now,
Check your state for your license requirements.
and also find out if it's legal to carry nunchucks.
Sure.
I have no idea why. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, it's you're allowed to carry nunchucks as long as Chuck knows that he's numb.
If Chuck
went-
doesn't
If
know
Chuck
that he's
doesn't
numb,
agree to it, that's kidnapping.
That went bad fast.
Yes, I know.
well, I'll tell you what. We have recently traveled from Georgia to Texas,
Shut up, Jeff.
So- and
Yeah,
I
while
see
we
the dot.
now we share reciprocity on the concealed carry permit.
Wait.
That was a
Holy
big word for
shit.
you, wasn't it?
I know.
Pat, lover boy, give me a little 5 there. Give me a little. Woo!
He knows that word because it comes in on the envelope.
Is that who y'all have your home mortgage through? Reciprocity home financing.
Yeah.
That's kind of
We
funny
have-
because the word.
While the state of Georgia holds reciprocity with Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas, it was interesting to read the laws for each of those states.
as they squirmed around the fact.
Well, like in Texas, even if the restaurant serves alcohol, and the way I interpret, because all the places posted it right there in the doorway, the way I interpret it is you can't open carry in a restaurant that serves alcohol. Yet when I asked the employees, like, does that sign mean that I can carry my weapon concealed? They looked at me with a stupid look on their face, like,
That's a good one. You can't carry a weapon where they serve alcohol.
yes. And these were restaurants that served alcohol. So like here in Georgia, you can carry a weapon as long as it's not a bar.
And it's got to be posted.
And
no,
now,
you
if
can
I'm not,
you can
you
carry,
can carry it into a bar now, but
Yeah,
you
but it's gotta
can't.
be
But you
posted.
can't partake in the consumption of alcohol. No, you cannot.
Not while you're
Not while you're carrying a
Alex,
weapon.
if you're listening, I need you to call because I thought you could now.
No, you can't. You cannot participate in the consumption of alcohol. You can still carry your weapon into the bar. That's part of the deal. But out there, if they serve alcohol, period, you can't open carry. I don't know very many people who actually open carry when they're going to a restaurant or something like that. That's just, to me, an open carry is, hey, shoot me first because I'm the guy that's got the gun that can,
Right.
can protect everybody else.
You know, I think there's a lot of let's just go ahead and call it lag in some of the laws and some of the titles because in Georgia, open carry was carrying the weapon, like a 6-shooter in a leather holster, blah blah, cowboyish. Okay, and then concealed weapon was different. Open carry was open carry,
Right.
And
open carry in the state of Georgia means that the weapon is visible to the general public.
and you don't need any type of license, correct?
Yeah, actually, if you read the fine print, even on the carry permit, the only time, and I'm serious, and
I
there's
got my
been a
permit
couple
right
of,
here.
there's a couple of people that have argued it, but the way that it literally reads is the only time you can carry a weapon openly, and an open pistol
Mhm.
is when you're fishing or hunting.
Check this out. I'm glad you brought this up. We're gonna hit the pause button on this one because in maybe 2 weeks or so, Mike Wheeler and his wife, who own and operate GeorgiaCarry.org, will be on the show.
Yes.
Okay, and so let's hold those questions. Maybe write them down, call them in, complain to your mom about them, stuff like that. And then what we'll do is we'll shoot that in front of them because I've got a million questions. And you know what? I do carry a permit, and when teaching firearms, one of the big things is that I tell people all the time, if you're going to carry your weapon concealed, nobody ever needs to see it. It's not something you play with. And what's that?
It has to be concealed.
Well, and that's
out of the mouth of babes.
Well, and there's been some new terminology come up here in Georgia about that, because if your weapon was imprintable through a shirt, if somebody could see it through the shirt, then it wasn't considered concealed and you could be in trouble.
Yeah. So
now they're just saying if you've made an attempt to cover the weapon, then it's considered concealed.
When when I was instructing people, I always told them, hey, keep that weapon concealed. But now this was a couple of years ago. I always told people if they saw it in your jacket, underneath your jacket or something like that, because I taught a lot of executive protection guys, I said fully expect to be either arrested or at least challenged by the public or law enforcement, and don't get angry about it.
Right.
Because they're just doing what people that don't know about guns do.
Right.
They panic.
And it's like some of these people on YouTube who stand out on the corner of an intersection with their AR slung across them.
Yeah, they're
Yet,
done.
you know what? You are correct. You have a right
Yeah.
to keep and bear arms,
Absolutely.
and you're in the public right. However, the
Common
attention that you're drawing, there's people passing by. They don't know what you're doing out there. All they see is some guy standing on the side of a road with an assault rifle.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, I agree with you. Yes, you have a right to keep and bear arms. You have a right to the Second Amendment. However, be smart about it. Let's not, because that's what creates the problems that people like Feinstein and Clinton bring up. Yeah, the bullet button and stuff like that. It's wait a minute. That's not. You're bringing the wrong stigma to.
The biggest problem that I see with the way things are going in America today is the sharing of way too much information. There's a time where people could carry guns and they carried them concealed and nobody knew and nobody cared because nobody wanted to find out. And it's the same thing with bathrooms.
It's the same thing. Exactly.
We can't go back on any of that stuff. It's just like people ask me all the time. They go, Mike, look, you're a spiritual guy. You like doing stuff with the church and all. And I'm a happy Christian. I'm okay with it. People ask me all the time about this kind of stuff, and I always look at them and I go, we can't go backwards. People say, we need to put prayer back in school. I hope everybody understands, unless there is divine intervention, we're not going backwards. We must progress forward. So when you say that you feel there's a lot of information going out and it's so quick, okay, what we need to do is the smart people, us, we need to figure out a way to make that work for us. But I know what you're saying. I mean,
the difference is it's if you're carrying a concealed weapon, do it that way.
People have been doing it for years.
I know there's plenty of places that I've been into carrying my concealed weapon that nobody ever knew I was carrying it. And
I stood in a Walmart line and there was a man that walked past and he had his gun open carry, which is fine. I didn't have a problem with it, but she actually threw a hissy fit and she was standing right next to me. And I'm thinking, lady, if you knew that I had 2 guns in my purse, a hatchet, and about 6 knives, you would probably freak the hell out.
And just for our listeners to understand, I don't want you to think that Variable Speed is crazy, but oh shit, she is. And more than likely, she did have all the things that she just mentioned readily available. She has one of the few purses I've ever seen that have a holster built into the side. Hey, look, it's about 20 minutes after the hour. We're going to take our first break because that's what we're supposed to do. We got to pay the bills. Hey, it's the world according to Mike. We got onto guns a little bit. They talked about that last night on Tech Talk, believe it or not. I can't do that on the morning show, but I can do it on mine. So that was pretty disgusting. And corn dogs.
God, I tasted that over here.
Isn't it cool? Yeah, I tasted your poop earlier when you stunk up the studio.
Oh my!
Fair's fair.
No, that's not fair.
That was fair.
We're going to take a break. And when we come back, I don't know, we'll talk about something in my world because it's the world according to Mike. We'll be right
back. That wasn't fair.
Is it hot?
It's a bit toasty today. I'm comfortable.
Also you, Dad.
Well, usually I don't get warm and
it's usually really freezing in here.
Okay, what do y'all want to hit when we come back?
I think we should definitely get on the topic of
the gorilla.
The gorilla, and that'll segue into the whole, why people shouldn't be allowed to breed.
I will say this: we had 4 viewers when we were talking about guns.
We're gonna get big, guys. I just need you guys to just. I was telling my son on the way in. Doing shows a week, digging it, having a great time. You guys are doing all this other. Will be working on it a couple hours a day. Man, I'm looking forward to it. First time in a long time. I'm pretty excited. So the folks on YouTube, if you're still listening, we love you. Please tell your friends. We really and truly want to grow. We want people I'm going to that tomorrow night. See this U.S. Law Shield gun law seminar.
Yeah.
And they give me some stuff. Okay, so I'll take that back. And then, of course, we've got George Carey.
I kiss.
Sounds like it, though, doesn't it? This is Mike in there. So this will be interesting, huh? We'll start talking some guns. Really want to talk some tech talk. Get going there.
You across the seat from me. Seriously?
Are y'all texting each other while you're here?
Yes. Seriously? You're so violently evil.
Christina Mills, if you're watching or listening, picture. Okay, I can't just sit there and go through that stuff. I wanted to look for trending news. Y'all are gonna beat up on each other. She's taking off her headphones. She got to work some ass. I sent Ogie a happy birthday last night at like 2 minutes. Let's see if there's anybody else. Video resurfaces of guerrilla rescuing back in Chicago in 1996. I remember that. Hey, that was quick. Jane Goodall. Oh, she's still alive?
Yeah.
Ah, you sure?
I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Jane Goodall.
Yeah, she's still alive. Oh, I bet you she's freaking.
Yeah, she's freaking probably hitting the roof over
But
that.
see, now there's all kinds of conflicting stories about whether or not the gorilla was protecting the child or not.
I'm gonna go with or not.
That's, I mean, yeah, the same way you would protect a Twinkie.
Did you just call me fat?
No,
In a weird twisted way.
I did not.
It kind of sounded like you did.
No, I would never.
Jane Morris Goodall, DBE, formerly Baroness Jane Van.
Oh, yeah, what do y'all think about that?
I thought that was pretty funny.
Sometimes you gotta,
I don't take my dogs out anywhere in the summer
but
just for that.
sometimes I
Yeah.
do, 'cause I just have to. Like having my freaking.
What all did you
page
need
up.
to get your birth certificate, social security card?
Have a piece of mail with you. Can be a payroll. It can be a paycheck.
Y'all know what I'm about to do here, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Dang.
Yeah. So it won't let me share it. I hate when that happens. Oh man, come on. Well, let me share it. All right, y'all ready to go back to work?
No, but I will.
All right, this is Military Mike. We're back. It's the world according to Mike. It's my world, Squirrel. Wow, I saw a picture. I was just kind of doing some scrolling, and we were talking about what we were going to talk about because we talk about. If you watch the YouTube channel, you can see that we have behind the scenes Action Jackson going on. I believe Santino over there is preparing to do some indoor flight, which will be cool because we do love drones. We are a drone loving family as well as a drone loving studio. A drone, yeah. Okay, so
You're droning on.
yeah. Well, I saw variable
Got
speed
jokes.
do a one cheek sneak, and I was like, "Oh no! Oh god! Oh, it looked like it. It looked like the one cheek sneak."
Well,
to
you know,
me,
I'm sitting
and
on the bouncy ball chair,
Shit.
so I have to get my balance right.
At least you had the decency to aim the other way. Captain Pat's
Well, I'm not
trying to
gonna-
shoot him.
I'm
out
not
there.
going to tell you if I ever do. I'm just going to let
Oh,
that
no.
sneak up and slap.
I
you.
don't. I
She
I
just-
smell
when-
poop all the
No,
time.
wait,
because
wait, wait.
my sinus
Listen.
infection.
She'll do this. She'll be like,
Yeah, the grin of death. Yeah,
and she'll
We
just
don't-
stare at you until you, and you'll look over at her like, what? What the hell are you
yeah.
smiling
We
at me
we
for?
don't do that
Yeah.
in my family. We're not allowed to do that. If you fart, you claim it.
Oh,
In
no,
fact,
she-
some-
If you're
Sometimes
allowed
we
to be
get-
proud.
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
we've actually had to stop the car and get
Oh, yeah.
out.
Oh yeah. What you know what we
Let's
do
pick
is
on D-Day.
we often will actually will announce it prior to. We'll chambered, you know. I got one chambered. And then usually at the house,
When he goes to kiss my butt, there's usually a good chance that I will say, you don't want to do that.
the sick part of this is you told us, and the additional footnote of sickness would be that you are over there going, yeah, too much protein. Ah! Okay, so Michael Jackson.
Tasty.
I just envisioned Michael Jackson hanging one of his kids over the rail. That
I think
day.
that was Blanket.
Blanket.
Yeah.
Isn't that South Park?
No,
Isn't that, no,
his-
that's
his
Butters.
name.
Okay, never mind. The kid's name is Blanket.
Yeah.
No, come on.
Yeah. He's got one that's named Prince.
What?
And then this one.
Yeah,
this-
he just recently
yeah, it's
died.
Blanket.
Okay, Prince had. Wait. Michael Jackson has a kid named Prince.
Michael Jackson has a
It
son
wasn't
named
because he's
Prince.
the king of pop, or was a kid? Is that
I
why?
think that's probably
Oh
part
my
of
god! Talk about a freaking silly
it. Was
moment
it
in life.
Prince, Paris, and Blanket.
Wow.
Like I think he ran out of unusual
Red
names.
crayon.
Yeah. Gummy bears. Okay, so I just envision him hanging one of those kids with the weird names over the railing, going, "Here, gorilla." No, okay. That was very nice. You know what? You guys want to jump there? Do you really?
I do. I want to go with
Alright,
this story.
Here
'cause
we go,
The kid
boys and
already
girls.
jumped there.
I have been avoiding it like the plague, but because we discussed it on the morning show this morning, I'm gonna let you guys hash it out a little bit here. I will. I hopefully don't have to referee this, but let's do this. Who is okay with the gorilla being shot? Raise your hand.
I have to say that I'm okay with it.
Wait a minute.
I
you
know.
Turncoat Silverback.
I'm
Bloodline.
not. I'm okay with them doing that, but what I'm not okay with is the fact that we have them in these enclosures that kids can fall into in the first place.
You know what? And
It's not the gorilla's
it
fault.
really sucks that when Adam was just walking around, Eden was like, "Hey, come over here and try this piece of fruit that God said don't eat."
Women are the problem.
Women are the problem. See, I can go back as far as you want. I can. Take a rib from me.
Well,
Yo,
no, you
what
can't.
up with that?
No, you can't because it's God's fault then, because God created woman.
God doesn't make faults.
He sent
Then
his only
I'm
son to
not a
die for
fault.
us. So in his eyes, we're a bunch of girls.
You're going to hell. You're hopefully not. In the
So
car
help us
tonight.
fight through the temptations of lesbianism.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well,
I'll go with that.
there you go. I have seen an incredible rise in lesbianism because look at the male choices that are out there between.
We don't have male
18
choices.
Oh, here you go.
We have
Between 18
man
and
buns and
25.
skinny jeans.
Thank you for calling Just for Fun Radio Network. Currently, the show, World According to Mike, with Military Mike, is on live. Hold, please. Beep. Hey, you're on the radio. What can I do for you?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how'd you like that intro?
I like the intro.
Yeah, man.
How dare her call me out like that on the show?
Yeah, well, you know what? If you're going to pick on my
Knew
co-host,
exactly, it was me.
you know,
And
if,
Mike,
go ahead, sir. You're the
women,
caller. I'll be
women
nice.
were created from the rib of man. So
Yeah.
you can't
Apparently
blame
not a
the
black
women.
man. You ever try to get a rib away from a black man? Welcome to Moe's!
Don't go to Moe's. They have a 69.
Once, that's why I only have 8 toes.
Oh, my God. I bet you swim like a duck in a circle. Now you have 8 toes. What's the breakdown? 4 and 4 or 5 and 3 or 6 and 2?
6 and 1.
6
Plus half of another one.
That's my redneck buddy right there. I gave him an $11 bill one time. Some bitch gave me an 8 and a 3 back. So
Yeah, I think it's completely wrong shooting an animal for being an animal.
okay, but
He was
so-
just doing what he does.
okay. Well, let me ask you this question.
Can't really blame the parent. I've raised 3 kids.
Yeah, they
I
get
got
away
3
from you.
daughters.
You can't. Yeah,
I mean, it is impossible being everywhere all the time.
I have
No matter
turned
how
my
hard
back.
you try.
Yeah, I have turned my back to answer someone turned around and these little crumb gatherers that I have.
Look, if
would
you
disappear
know that
on you.
you've got one of those demon child curtain climbers, you need to put a leash on those little things. They get
no,
away from you.
No, if you put that little shock collar thing on them, you will get busted.
No, I'm talking about the shock collar.
And you can't
but
do
I'm-
the
And a pinch
invisible
collar
yard.
works better.
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't do the invisible yard thing.
Oh yeah, no, that works. You just
It
don't put it
works,
around.
but
You don't put it around their neck.
You put it around the ankle.
You put it around their
People
waist.
can't see it.
You put it
Freaking
around their waist. you
bonus
see?
round.
And you keep it like down at the
I
hip
drop it down
area.
in front of the pants. Oh,
So you make it look like a little fanny pack with
There you
electrodes.
go.
I'm jamming.
Mike, you're the only one still using that fanny pack.
Hey, I got a fanny pack. It holds up my nut sack. Yep, I said it. It's the world according to Mike. And it's my radio show. And everyone was warned. Didn't we do the warning? Did we do the warning?
I
No.
don't think we did the warning.
No,
but
you
Okay,
did
well,
not.
you've been warned.
Also, I don't see a fanny pack.
That's right. Come over here and check.
So
see if
how
I'm
many of the
dilating.
2 listeners have you lost now?
I actually, our
both
listeners
of
are
them.
going up, man. It's kind of weird. The more flaked out stuff we talk about, the more listeners we get. It's kind of crazy.
Look, okay, about the gorilla thing. Let's stay on topic.
God,
We
I don't
gotta
want
stay
to.
on topic.
I know,
you don't want
okay,
to, but
that's-
we gotta do this.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. Go ahead. You got me.
Okay, the gorilla was doing what the gorilla is gonna do. Yes, and there was a Scooby snack in the water, so that's what he was going for. And whether or not he was helping the child, at first, yes, that's what he's doing. He sees it; it's small, and he doesn't know what to do with it. So he did help the child up. He did carry him the same way he would carry an ape child, but it was through water. And this
An
kid,
ape
An
child?
ape child?
That's how
Are you
describe it,
kidding me?
an
Like,
ape child.
A gorilla baby.
The hell is
that's
an
what I'm
ape
talking
child?
about. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
I've had a rough week. Leave me alone.
You know what? I envision the world, the Planet of the Apes thing about to happen.
But you know, the irony to all of this is that the videos that the news and all show and that are out there, they stop short of a lot of things.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because
It's
there's
the same video that everybody shows of everything that happens. The cop beating this guy, the
right. Well, the
drug
thing,
dealer doing this. They
but there's
only
one
show
video
part
out
of
there
what
that
happened.
when he got over to like a ladder, the kid was actually sitting there and he actually pulled him up underneath him. You know, like he's protecting him.
Yes.
I mean, and he didn't, which is a natural instinct for a gorilla when it comes to baby gorillas. They'll protect them. So
I'm confused.
Mother
How the hell do
Russia
we
Yes.
know
treat
what
you.
the hell the grill is saying?
Well, you know,
And that's the thing, we don't know, but what we do know is that this is an extremely large and extremely heavy animal that had they darted it and he fell over onto the child could have suffocated or drowned if he's still in the water. I'm not sure
Yeah, but I
exactly
mean,
where
I
he was.
don't think the tranquilizer darts work like they do on
they
TV.
don't. No, they don't work that
I
fast.
think you should have used a tranquilizer dart on the gorilla and the actual bullet on the mom.
I'll go with that.
Didn't
Yeah.
you just say you agreed that kids can get away from you? Don't be ugly.
I
Don't call out being
I,
ugly, caller.
No, I agreed that it could have gone either way. I mean, it's a tough decision to make.
Well,
Nobody was happy about making this decision. Nobody was thrilled about having to kill this gorilla at all.
I
But
would have been.
now to take it to a whole nother level is the Black Lives Matter have gotten involved and now they're ticked off and they're saying that how dare we kill this
Okay.
gorilla because of white privilege.
It's
Yeah.
because
Well,
they have
You,
black.
you have
Ugh.
somebody there that does not have a job and sits at home all day, and all they do is look for every loophole they can.
Yeah.
Yes, so I served my country. I can sit home and do that if I. Oh, you're
Well,
talking about
Well,
somebody.
part of that is that
Oh,
you
you're
know
talking about
it's-
me.
Trump has put them to work because somebody is paying them to go out there and say this shit.
Trump is doing that?
No, not Trump's
No.
not paying them.
You said
But-
Trump.
Right, because Trump has said he was going to put America back to work. Well, he's already doing it,
Somebody,
and he ain't even spending any money doing it.
Here, let's be honest. Let's go back a little bit here. Let's hit the rewind button and talk about this. Okay. One, all right, I'm a little
You
confused.
say Juan?
Juan? Yeah, that's Chinese. You don't speak Chinese?
Uh,
No.
Arabic.
See?
I speak Arabic a little bit.
so the beginning,
There you go.
the mother
Okay.
takes the child to the zoo.
Yeah, but okay, look, kids get
The
away from me.
Kid
man.
is telling his mom he's going to go swim with gorillas, and the mom just keeps saying no, 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 and then she stops paying attention to the kid. The
Do you blame her?
gorilla took better care of that kid, dragging him through the water
crap.
than that mother did.
Oh, that was wrong.
All right, so you got two kids there, one boy, one girl, the exact same age.
Yeah.
One on your left, one on your right.
Yeah.
One on the left says, I'm going to climb the fence.
Yeah.
So you turn and look at him, and then the girl that's on your right actually climbs the fence.
Yeah.
Well, if
Who
you
said
staple them
nothing?
together, that doesn't happen.
Duct tape also does.
Yeah, I use duct tape. It works
Yeah,
better.
Duct tape works.
easy. Stapler.
Actually, I
stapler
like
leaves
that
works.
gorilla tape. It actually works even better than duct tape.
All right. So, bottom line here, the way I
see
look
what you
at
did
it
there, Jeff.
is, if Jack Hanna, if he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. The gorilla
Yeah.
had to go down. Sorry.
It
In
had
Russia, the
there
gorilla
was
would've
no
shot you.
other way
Yeah. Yeah.
to ensure
I
the
could've-
safety of the child.
Okay. Now, because we're all pretty much grown or veterans or family dependents, could you have made the shot?
I don't. Well, it depends. If it's my kid, yes. If it's somebody
can I
else's
ask all
kid,
that? Why do
Hey.
women do that?
because I
And
don't
that's-
like other
I
people's
Yes
probably
kids.
would've.
or no? Could you make the shot, BS?
Yes.
Captain Pat, could you make the shot?
Nope, wouldn't have done it.
Dino, could you
On
make the
my
I would
shot?
have made multiple shots.
Yeah, that's my boy.
On my side, I could say probably not because
What?
I have a bad aim. I have
Oh.
a bad aim.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't have made the shot. I
it-
would have tried shooting. I just wouldn't
and-
have made it.
And just to clarify, it wouldn't have been about aim. It would have been about what in the world. First off, how did the kid get over there in the first place?
He climbed over the fence.
Yeah.
And,
He's a
Jumped
ninja.
out.
Right, exactly. And I mean, we've been to the Atlanta Zoo. That's a
no,
pretty
we haven't.
formidable-
You haven't taken me, and don't even start there.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I would like to take this opportunity to read some posts that have been on Facebook. I can just go ahead and tell listeners you're not going to be happy. So let's just go with this. Okay, and I quote: "The gorilla was minding his own business. It's the mama's fault, and the curious little white boy wanna bother people. Black people don't even go by the rail."
English grammar.
Well,
yes,
okay,
no.
black people run away from dogs too. So except for pit bulls. I don't know why.
That was incredibly racist of you.
Well, it's true. They also run from chickens and other small animals. That's just one
Here
of
we
those
go,
things.
boys and
My
girls.
wife runs from dogs, except for me.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's always that one exception.
okay.
But
Before
no, they don't. Okay, well, movies. Go just talk to any black guy, and I know this is going to sound racist, and I don't care
it
because
sounds
somebody
incredibly racist.
somebody
Please
is going to
continue.
call up and say she's right. If they see or hear something going on, the white guy is going to go, "Oh, what's that?" And he's going to run towards the danger. The black guy is going to say, "I don't give a shit what that is," and he's going to run the opposite direction. That is the difference between white and black. It's fact. It's not race. It's not color. It's just fact.
Apparently,
It's
you
a
have never seen
statistic.
Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yeah.
Or you've never seen my dad near a spider.
Oh, do you run from spiders? I do too.
Okay,
That's totally different.
Okay, we got to talk about that.
Yeah,
we got to
let's
talk about that here on the show, right? About my fear of spiders. Yes, I don't like spiders.
I don't either.
Okay,
He
Ask
also doesn't
him.
like snakes, horses.
it's not that
Mike
I don't like
like
horses.
Mike loves snakes. Us.
Horses don't like me, so it ain't me. And
Did you get bit
ferrets.
by a horse?
Yes,
Hey,
numerous
Mike,
times.
I saw your
Oh.
last 3 girlfriends, so don't say that.
You haven't seen any of my girlfriends.
No, Mike
What
likes
girlfriends?
bacon.
Yes, I do like bacon. Wow, how the hell do we go there? All right, next one. If the gorilla knew they was kill he should have choked that little white boy like Melvin did Jody.
Who's
Look,
Melvin?
Little help here. I don't get the
I'm
Melvin did Jody reference.
I don't
Anyone?
want that either.
Okay,
No.
so let's move on because that's just dumb. Killing an endangered gorilla. Can somebody please look to see if this gorilla is endangered? I've gotten 2 stories.
That's what I'm
now.
looking at it right now.
Because-
and yes, they are on the endangered list.
Okay,
He
Alex.
was after the kid fell in.
Alex, if you're listening, I thought you said this morning there was 170 something thousand of them. I would think that would take them off the endangered list. Okay, going back. Killing an endangered gorilla at a zoo for a white boy's safety is white privilege. If the boy was black, they would have found a tranquilizer. I disagree with that
They would have
statement.
shot the gorilla.
They did shoot the gorilla.
Exactly.
And I think that's completely wrong. Every comment that you're saying, the word white is thrown in there. I mean, color
Yes.
shouldn't matter.
Well, that's why I'm reading it.
It's a lie
I'm
either way.
I'm a radio host. I'm a host on a radio program.
Now
And it's my job.
yes, but if you look at the names of the people who have done this, first of all, we have Diddy the Goat.
Oh, but that doesn't.
Diddy the Goat.
Yeah, but you know what that means.
Hood Intellect.
Okay, yeah, but you can't go out their screen names because my
That's-
kids have got
Ask
the
God to show
stupidest-
you the goat picture.
No,
No.
no. Kids today have the dumbest screen names in the world. I mean, so
they do.
here, moving along. What is IDC? I don't care.
I don't care.
Okay, I don't care what anybody says. That little white boy should have been shot for threatening the gorilla's life. Now,
he didn't jump in there with an Uzi.
I just, stuff like that, I just think is kind of shock and awe. People are trying to be funny. I guess that's funny. I don't know. Maybe to some folks that's
No.
funny, but you know what? Kids and guns.
Some of them just want attention.
Yeah, like me.
Look, you can't even really tell what color the kid is. He's got dark hair and he's a tan kid.
Wow, I just noticed that. Oh, if this is what? Oh, somebody please find out. Is this a black child? Or is this a white child?
I don't know. He doesn't.
Oh, Django. We could be making a break.
Oh,
Oh,
we got to look
wow.
this
Is
up.
this not the craziest, weirdest thing? Good call there, variable speed. If this is
Just look up Gorilla Kid. That's
if this
pretty much
is a
going to
black
bring them all up.
child, holy curse smolies. There's going to be a lot of people that are upset.
I need to boot scoot and
Okay,
boogie
buddy.
in a second.
I appreciate you
I do
calling
have
in.
a question though.
Yes, sir.
I want to go back because I was busy working.
Okay.
Going back to the open carry issue y'all were talking about,
Kadoki.
Go ahead.
and the attention that it gets when someone walks into a place and they've got their weapon out there wide open, and what kind of attention it draws to them, saying, "Okay, you shoot me first, Well, it's kind of like saying the same thing about a girl that wears the short shorts and then a tank top with no bra. The attention that it draws. You're asking and inviting someone to pay that kind of attention to them. And you're just asking for a bad element to happen. It's my thought.
I can understand where you're going with that. I mean,
people look at it.
It's a thought process, right? You're talking about.
I hit the button.
Talking about a thought process, and I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Sorry about that.
I'm just saying, I made my comment because anybody who's going into a place with the intent to rob it or something like that, if they're thinking about what they're doing, they're going to start looking for, okay, who's the biggest threat, versus the average little moron who's going to knock over the liquor store or something like that is probably not looking. I mean, how many times on YouTube videos has somebody gone up to the cash register, pulled out their gun, and a cop is standing behind them, and arrests them while they're trying to rob the QT? But,
and they're also, someone walks into a place with a gun in their holster, shown to sit down and eat. It's not a threat. Someone that walks in with it in their hand up in front of them, pointing at people, that's the one that's a threat. That's the person you need to look at going, no, something's going to happen here. So I don't know why people freak out. I mean,
see, everybody's talking about this, and quite frankly, I'm going to be honest with you. How many folks, truthfully, honestly, for real, not for play, how many people actually do look for that kind of stuff when they're out and about? Because I can tell you this, I broke up a robbery in a, what was it? Miss Winter's Chicken over on Constitution Avenue many years ago in a galaxy far, far away. And I saw it unfolding, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I just grabbed and spun this guy around, and nobody got shot. No guns went off, blah, blah, blah. All that other stuff. The cop looked at me and asked me if I was effing stupid. He goes, are you some kind of effing hero? And I'm like, buddy, I saw it unfolding. I actually called out, does anybody else see this? Okay, but over the years, I've come to understand that not everybody sees things like I see things. So when you're...
It's like Scott. Scott's the same way. I mean, and through listening to Scott, I've gotten to be like that.
Well,
his stories and hanging out with them, I pay attention to everything that goes around me now.
Yeah, my kids have got the gene as well. And it's so funny, as they start to come of age, they start going, Dad, this kind of sucks. And I'm like, yeah, learn to keep your mouth shut and just keep your eyes open. So I don't know, man.
There's limited amounts of people who are awake enough to actually observe what's going on around them. I feel sometimes like we live in the Matrix. There are just so many people going in their own little direction, and they do the same thing over and over again every day, and they just don't look around.
And that's one of the worst things to do, is to get into a routine, because that's when everybody that's watching you knows your routine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, look, we got another caller, and you said you had to go, so bye.
Bye, big sexy.
All right, Jeff, I love you.
Speed and the other hosts that are in there, I didn't catch your names, but y'all have a great evening.
All right, man.
You too.
Talk to you later, bud.
And I'm actually waving to y'all. I'm not on YouTube, but I am waving.
That's scary weird. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man. Just for Fun Radio, is there anybody else there? Yes? No?
Hello.
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 Call back. If you're listening, please call back. I'm sorry. There we go. Now that happens. Just for Fun Radio, this is the World According to Mike. This is Military Mike with Variable Speed and Captain Pat.
This is El Conquistador.
El Conquistador. So what's up, my fellow MP dog?
All right, so I'm listening to Open Carry Concealed.
Jesus,
Can't we just talk about
Can't
the
we all
monkey?
just get along? It's so funny. All right, give me your take, buddy, because I know you
All right.
carry.
In a nutshell, number one, obviously, the gun safety. You've already covered that, and it's extremely important. But open carry. Some of these properties I go to in Atlanta, I will guarantee you, I have open carry, and they will watch me chamber a round in the front yard. I go to places Atlanta PD will not go in without backup.
Yeah.
And I'm the first guy in there, and I clear those houses. And
But Larry, you and I used to go in Carver Homes, man. Does anybody remember Carver Homes?
Yes.
This was the trashiest, nastiest. I don't even know what it was, a housing authority type thing downtown. It was so bad that the cops would not go in there. We would show up and we'd go, "Can we get somebody to follow us in?" And they'd go, "No." People used to break their doors, kick their doors in and break them off the hinges and replace them with a sheet of plywood. They used to throw.
That was pretty much Carver Homes, yeah.
They used to
Wow.
throw the trash out of a window that was made of plywood. They would just push the plywood and throw the trash, so it would just pile up outside their windows.
Wow.
Yeah. So when this guy right here is talking about going into some crap holes, yeah, I'm military Mike, and I approve this message because I know he has.
I consider Walmart like that, though.
Around, I think it was around 2008, I was on Sells Avenue, which is, at the time, it was the heroin capital for Atlanta. And I had just gotten rid of one house that had 5 bullet holes all the way through it, from front through the rear. And I got another house 2 doors down. I was like, man, how unlucky can I get? And I pull out, I got my 45 on my hip, rounds already chambered, and I'm getting paperwork ready. APD comes rolling by, and this is before they had their, Georgia loosened up on the gun laws. And he stopped his vehicle, and he's looking at me with a 45 on my hip, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just staring at him. And we're having a stupid stare down. And he's sitting in his car, and I'm looking at him from, standing outside my truck. And then he just kind of looks around up and down the street, and then he just drives off. He figured it out. He wouldn't be there either without a weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you remember when we were doing like repoing and bounty hunter work?
Yeah.
There was a time that I went in a place one time, and this guy was a child support. He was behind on it. I couldn't get anybody to go with me, so it was just me. I took my shotgun and some handcuffs, and I had my gun on my hip. And I couldn't, when I went through the front door, I don't know what happened, but I couldn't get to my shotgun. The guy was laying on things. So I held him at bay with my pistol, is basically what I'm saying. So when the cop showed up, they came running in the door, and here I am holding this super fat dude on a couch with my gun. And it was so funny because even police officers are like, they don't want to get shot. I can understand that.
Right.
But it was so funny that I guess just because of my demeanor, because of the military haircut, because of the look in my eye, or maybe the way I was holding it, do you know they never pointed their weapons at me? They came right around the corner. They aimed at him. They rolled him over. They double handcuffed him, and they took him out.
Well, I mean, when
And
the
I
call
holstered-
went out, did it say that there was already an individual on scene?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So then they probably, and they told the cops that, so that
I'm
the cops
sure,
knew when they
yeah.
came through the door,
But-
there's a guy holding somebody else at gunpoint to protect himself or whatever. They're holding the perp.
Well,
or
I mean,
the
I told him I was
suspect.
a bounty hunter, but Larry and I used to do
Right.
this kind of work, and there were many a times, even not late at night. I'm sorry. Larry, did you ever have a gun down there when you went down Locust Grove, Griffin area? Because I always found it's easier to carry a gun and get respect like in Atlanta than
Right.
if you carry a gun in Madison. Because everybody.
Actually, when I was snatching the vehicles, I typically didn't carry a firearm with me. A couple of times in Atlanta, though, had a 9mm in some very ugly areas. Well, when I went up to Nashville with Rob, and I told all the I guess we'll call them guest workers out of the hotel, because I needed a blue van, and there were 40 blue vans sitting in this parking lot. And it was just filled with our Hispanic friends south of the border. I didn't have a weapon when I made all of them come out of the hotel room at midnight.
Yeah, I mean,
it's demeanor.
I don't know. Guns are kind of a crazy thing, man. All I can say is sometimes you get a lot of respect just because you got it, and people are like, "Oh, thank God you're here." When I worked in the nightclubs, I always had a firearm. At night, let's say about 2:00 in the morning, I would pull my vest, not my bulletproof vest, but the tuxedo vest. I'd pull it over the weapon so people could see it. It's just easier to deal with people that are drunk if they see you carrying a weapon in a non-aggressive,
Non-threatening
manner. Thank you. And then when it comes time to tell them, lights coming on, you got to go home. Then it gets a little different. Then it gets a little different because people are like, people are doing the whole, "You're not gonna do that to me, man," that crap. So, yeah, people are sending me messages that, and the gorilla thing was kind of negligent parenting.
Hey, you know what? With the gorilla thing, there were no winners there. That's the bottom line.
Well, I think the guy who made the shots probably he put a notch in his rifle. I mean, how often do you get to shoot?
The thing of it is, I was just reading an article about it, and there's been 6 cases in history prior to this where children have fallen into gorilla enclosures,
and not one of them's been
all
shot.
5 of them. The gorilla took care of the child, because 2 children were unconscious when they hit the bottom.
Mhm.
One of them was a female gorilla, went over, got the child, kept him protected from the other gorillas, literally took him to the door.
Yeah.
So that the zookeepers
1996.
could get to him. And another one, the child was unconscious, and the male went over and was stroking him, like, "Hey, what's going on with
Petting
you?"
his head.
Yeah, and when the kid came to and started screaming, the gorilla was like, "Screw this shit, I'm out of here, man." Hauled ass the other way, and they could get in and get the child. So,
So we're missing something, aren't we?
Well,
I think we're missing something.
Well, the fact that we're not there, we weren't there from the beginning to the ending to know exactly what was going on.
They have a professional team in place to make those calls.
Yeah.
It's not you, it's not me, and it's not all these people on Facebook.
Caitlyn Jenner actually called Donald Trump. I reported that yesterday. I'm joking.
What'd she call?
She called and she told him, she said, "Hey, you need to pay for." In fact, hold on, I'll read you the actual reporting that I did, since apparently somebody doesn't read my posts. Thanks a lot there, Butch.
If it doesn't come with a picture, I'm not good.
I hear you. All right, hold on. We got my A World According to Mike Facebook page. Sometimes it travels just a wee bit too fast and you can't keep up. And people keep posting food. God knows I'm starving. Okay, so basically, everybody's still with me. We're gonna have to go to a break here in a second. But
but one of the things that can continue on about the Cincinnati deal was the one person that sort of makes the decisions about the gorillas was not there.
Really?
Yes.
Listen to all this stuff that's coming. It's like a conspiracy. This is so cool. What do you think? You think it's a real life conspiracy? Okay, here's what I reported yesterday. Breaking news. This just in to the Just for Fun Radio Network news desk to the World According to Mike. I did a bunch of numbers. I was trying to be silly. Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not. Allegedly, Donald Trump was told by Caitlyn Jenner that the gorilla that had the 4-year-old child was suffering from an acute gorilla Zika syndrome, or AGZS. And that prompted Donald Trump to pay the Special Operations Zoo Primate Assault Conflict Resolution Intervention Response Team, or the SOZPACRIRT, to terminate the gorilla's life. Isn't that crazy?
That's not. Did somebody make this up? Was that you?
Yes, I made that up.
Awesome.
I
That's
just
did you do it with crayons?
no, I typed it out. I'm a big boy now.
Wow.
But he did
boy.
the
FBI?
hunting pack. The hunting pack.
Well,
The FBI checked it out and said he had ties to ISIS.
Well, see now
The
that
gorilla.
So no, I think the kid was a terrorist.
oh, no, see, now y'all are just getting carried away. So stop it. Now you're just being silly.
And you weren't.
Apparently, Caitlyn Jenner has crossed another barrier. Okay. She has now crossed the gender species barrier, and apparently, gorilla lives do matter. Hashtag gorilla lives matter. So I hear
When
I
will
have
everybody get it through their thick skulls that nobody's life really matters? None of you. Not a single stinking one of you.
That's a hell of a way to look at it. Hey, look, it's 8:00. We need to go to a break. We're gonna call someone and post-traumatic stress disorder activist, and we're gonna talk to her for a little bit. Her name's Stephanie, right?
Good.
Stephanie?
Yeah. I'm getting PTSD just from listening to
Yeah.
this
Well, good,
crap.
because you're gonna talk to Stephanie because you guys talk the same thing. She's telling me I'm ready. Call me. It's 2000. It's 8:00 in the world according to Mike. Variable speed and Captain Pat and Dino the dog is with us tonight. And when we come back, we'll be talking with Stephanie. We have to find out if she wants her full name out there. So I don't want to put it out there yet. Hey, it's World According to Mike. We'll be back in just a minute.
Yay.
Have a good night, Mike.
Hi, buddy. You too, man. Thanks for calling in.
Bye, buddy. Bye-bye.
See you.
How you doing on that beer, Mike?
Needing another one. Dino, you want a beer? Get Dino a beer. He's driving. Hell, you're like what, 13? Yeah, you're good. There's a whole case of Bud Light. Shut up. We don't play that game in our house. I know it's kind of weird. The kids can cut. I just asked if they're not vulgar.
My 3-year-old told her grandma, her other grandma, she was a dumbass, so I'm pretty proud of her now.
Yeah, so I mean, they're just words. I mean, the main thing is that the thing that I am is a good kid. He sees what it is. He struggles.
He doesn't beat off in Porta Johns and create new kids.
He could. I don't know that part of him. It's live on YouTube now.
Sorry,
he doesn't really get in trouble other than the fact that he's a 13-year-old boy that his brother, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think I've cursed my boy with a different level of intelligence. We're good-looking kids, okay? We're good-looking kids, and the problem is this right here. This is attached to this.
Unfortunately, you're looking at your future right here. You're going to have to go with the dysfunctional female veteran.
And and it's just like when we see stuff, we point it out. Somebody can be doing something stupid. And our question is
why are we the bad guy?
Yeah. What about what I'm pointing out? People do not want to hear that anymore. So,
sounds like his ex.
Is it okay to say? Sure. You never want to say somebody's full name without permission. I mean, Facebook 11,000. Now, is that just the RSS or is that Twitter or the 11,006?
What? It's the RSS.
Is it just a RSS or a podcast?
No,
I don't know how that works.
Go over there and highlight it. Yeah, go to the followed by.
Right there, click on that.
Yeah.
It's going to show me 11,641 people.
And they're probably all on Facebook. Yes. All Facebook.
Well, how do you do that? This is a personal page. Is yeah.
Mm.
We're gonna have to ask her. I guess. Look at that. I'm impressed. That's very cool. And God knows if she's doing anything to help the veterans, I am. Everybody ready?
Of course.
Oh wait, hold on.
No, yeah, we can't bust this song.
You know you don't have any drums up. Just well, you know the show ends in like a little while. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, if I kept playing that train song, I never would have got any work out of out of variable speed over here.
Ah, I saw the concert years ago.
Oh, did you? Who is it? I didn't even notice
The
who.
69 Boys.
The 69 Boys. You know, the 61 guys, they didn't like the 69 guys. You know why? Because there was 8 more.
Dad jokes all
hey,
day
look,
long.
I just want to throw this out. Mike Carter, Big Mike, you know, Sergeant Carter. And I love saying that because people that aren't in the military, they when you say Sergeant Carter, they start laughing, but he really was Sergeant Carter. And he's probably one of the closest brothers that I have. And his wife had a you know, there's you medical folks, it was either a stroke or a heart attack or an infarction or a one hell of a case of gas. It was something, but poor Steph, I love her to death. She's been, now this is Stephanie Carter. She has been in the hospital for a couple of days, and quite frankly, she's probably going to have to spend a couple more days. And the reason is as well, because Big Mike's wife, Stephanie, is a big, hard-headed knucklehead. And every time the docs say, if you'll stay still for 24 hours, we'll let you go home. The docs walk out of the door, you know, out of the hospital room. $10 says she gets up and starts trying to undo her IV, or the hell with this, I'm going to go get a double cheese murder, you know, and, you know, something like that. I know, Steph, I love her to death. She's having a little weakness on her left side and all. And I just wanted to put out a big old, great big prayer to the Carter family. I love them dearly. Their kids, Lauren and Baby O, my little Baby O, who's not a Baby O anymore. I love you guys. If there's anything I can do for you, you're 3 hours away. Give me a call and I'll make it too. So that being said, now we have a young lady that we're going to call, and her name is Stephanie. Okay. And she goes by Stephanie Dawn Mason Lembo.
That's it. You run out of names.
Okay, I thought there was I thought there was going to be a couple more. Well, we're going to ask her about that, obviously, because that's just a wild, crazy long name. All right, and I apologize. I didn't have. I thought her number was right there at the top of the page, but it wasn't. Okay. Yep. We're going back here. Yep. There we go. Finally. All right. So there's a way to dial this thing. Let's see. We're calling her right now. I hope she's listening. This could be embarrassing. Hey,
we just spent some time in Mississippi.
Oh, is that where y'all were?
Yeah,
we went to Texas.
Well, we did, but we spent a night in Gulfport
Yes.
on Long Beach. It was beautiful, amazing beach.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
I need some beach time. Scotty and I have been talking about this place. I'll tell you about it later.
It's only a couple of hours away, and it is gorgeous sand. I'm telling you, that's our
you're
next
doing this
destination.
interview, by the way.
No.
Hello, this is Stephanie.
Hey, is this Stephanie?
This is.
Stephanie, this is Military Mike, and you are currently live on YouTube as well as the internet radio station, Just for Fun Radio Network, and you're on the world according to Mike.
Well, thank you for having me tonight. I really
I'd say-
appreciate you reaching out to me.
You know what? I tell you what, and I don't even know how we met. I really don't.
And I don't either. It's
what-
okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. I was probably trolling Facebook, and I saw a beautiful woman, and I said, let me try to get in touch with her.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
How about that? That was
He's
cool.
such a ham.
And let me tell you, I got to tell you something. Your babies, the little ones that little girl is adorable. Girls are so much
thank
cuter
you.
than boys.
Yes, they are. And
Ah.
she's such a diva. You have no clue.
That's awesome. That's the way it should be.
Yes.
I think women.
She is called she likes to be called Dr. Elsa Maddie.
Well, good,
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
you
Good
know
goals.
what, Dr. Elsa Princess, we got this. All right, Maddie, I love you too.
Absolutely. My granddaughter, I call her Pebbles, and basically I spoil her to death. Whatever she wants.
Oh yeah.
She loves
And she has 2 older brothers that she has wrapped around her little pinky.
Awesome.
So
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. Nobody will touch her, and that's exactly the way girls should be. Now, my
You
daughter.
know how dads have shotguns. Well, mom's got a shotgun too. Okay?
Yeah. Well, here's what I did, and I know we're getting off track here, but it's the world
No, it's
according to
fine.
Mike. I can do that. My daughter's 26 now. When she was in 3rd grade, she said she wanted to be in law enforcement. And one of the things that my wife at the time and we always did was whatever the kids said they wanted to do, we backed it. I mean, we backed it
definitely.
with books. You know, they
Okay.
had books back then, magazines, things to study. Well, my daughter ended up being with the sheriff's office as a deputy. She's married to a police officer too. But here's the thing. She's also taken Taekwondo. She's also taken Aikido. And now you got to love this. She knows more about guns almost than Daddy does. I used to build guns for police officers, AR-15s basically, and the M4 conversions. And when they would call to get their weapon, it might be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I used to take my daughter, and she would unload the back of the Xterra and start laying out all these weapons. And when the guys went to pick them up, they wouldn't ask me if it was okay. They'd ask her. They'd go, "Is it okay if I grab this one?" She'd be like, "Yeah, sure." She'd grab it, drop the magazine, lock the bolt to the rear, check the breech, and hand it to them. And they'd look over at me and go, "Good Lord, dude." And I'd go, "You know, that's just the way I want it to be." Now, let me tell you something. Right now, my daughter, absolutely beautiful. She's been a model. Right now, she's got 2 kids. And let me tell you something. She takes care of herself. She's intelligent. She works hard. She beats up on her 2 younger brothers. And probably the best thing in the world is there ain't nobody in their right mind going to reach out and grab her.
And you know, and that's one thing that I respect is strong women. And if you can raise a strong woman, then you've done your job.
Well,
So,
you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth.
you.
I'm going to tell you the truth. My kids got my ex-wife's looks and my intelligence. If not, we would have had dumb, ugly children. And I'm not going to lie, being a career military guy, my ex-wife but wife at the time, she raised the kids. You know what? I may be able to take a toothpick's worth of credit for it, but the rest of it's on her. She raised them.
You know, and you were in the military, is that correct?
Yes, I was.
What branch were you in?
Army. Is there any other branch?
Okay. No, there's a few other ones out there.
Well, they pale in comparison, is what I like to say.
You know, but that's the job as a mom. When you're home, you are the home front, and you take care of the things that while you're out doing what you're supposed to be doing for our country, their mom home sacrificing to raise amazing children. So, if anything, you give props to those women 110% because they go through a lot that people don't even know about. But they do it.
I gotta say,
we call that household 6.
Yeah,
yes.
And I gotta tell you, man, I would call. We had a code word. We had actually a code phrase. Unfortunately, this last deployment, I went to Afghanistan, and we lost 3, didn't we, Danny? We lost like 3
before we even got there.
We even got on the plane. I mean, we're literally staging, getting our gear together.
Our forward team got hit,
and we're the what we call the advanced guard. They had went before us, and they got hit, and we're having a funeral for them. When we're getting on, in a next day, we're getting on the plane to go do the same thing. So I had to call her because I didn't want it to come down through the grapevine. And now with technology, you can communicate with people even in a combat zone. And it was so funny because I talked to her then, and then of course it takes about a week to get in country. And I gave her a call from the airport in Kabul in the middle of the night, our time there. And I was borrowing actually Sergeant Major Smallwood's phone. I borrowed his little phone, and I called her. And this is what I said: "I'm here. I have no idea. I will call you when I can." And she said, "Okay." Now, here about 3-4 days into it, we got attacked, and they tried to blow open the front gate with an RPG. And I knew they were hearing about it back home, but I didn't have any way to communicate at that time.
Exactly.
And yeah, so you're sitting there thinking, I mean, I'd sit there and go, God, I bet you my kids, even my ex-wife hates my guts, doesn't like the grass I walk on. But the poor thing right now is probably trying to figure out if the father of her kids is dead or not. Because she just knew I'm the guy, I'm that dumbass. If something is going on, I don't turn around and run away.
You're usually in the middle of it.
I am knee deep in it.
That is your job. That's why you do what you do. And, you know, that's what is so commendable and respectable.
No. You know what? That's very nice of you. Thank you. You're a sweetheart. But the medical term is dumbass.
Yes.
We
If
have
you
a
want
lot
to
of
know
those
what it's
in
really like,
Mississippi, and they're not even in the military, so I get this. I understand.
God, I'm
if you
living
want to
in
know what the
Mississippi. You're
military is
adorable.
really and truly like, there has never been a war movie that has
Captured.
captured the spirit of the American soldier like Delta Farce. That is
That's a sad state
That
of
is
affairs right there, man.
I was actually waiting for her to say Saving Private Ryan.
I was thinking
First 10
13
minutes of that-
hours in Benghazi or
the
something.
first 10 minutes of Saving Private Ryan, you're dead on. After that, But
Or
yeah,
two.
Delta
Yeah.
Force, that is so spot on.
that is more like we truly are. We have absolutely no idea what we're doing. We're just following whatever person's in front of us. We're clueless.
Exactly.
We got no plans. We don't even know where we are. We just know we have
the
guns.
Russians said we would never be able to defeat the American army because they create all of these doctrines and manuals on how to conduct war.
I'm confused. Wait, you
Wait
said
a second. Hang on.
There's a story to it.
Listen, they literally said we can't win against America because they don't even follow their own policies and manuals on how to.
Yeah, look who you're talking to. Look who you're talking to.
That's just the general law that we have here.
Yeah.
Like,
You're talking to the guy that walked into a classified meeting one time because one of the members came out, said he had to go to the latrine, and actually ran over to me at my desk and said, "Please, God, come in there." And you wouldn't believe what they're trying to do. I'm like, "What are they trying to do?" And they go, "They want your security detail, the PSD. They want you guys to actually drive the vehicles to transport equipment, and they want the mechanics and the transport guys to drive the assault vehicles and provide the PSD." And I'm like, why the hell would you do that? So I go in there, and as soon as I walk in there, Major, who?
oh no.
He looks at me and goes, "Oh God, please don't." And I'm like, whoa, I was pissed. You know me. I was pissed. I'm like, there's no way that the PSD is doing anything other than security detail, and the maintenance and transportation guys will drive the big trucks. And I remember Road Dog 6, the commander of the transportation company, looking at me going, thank you. So Stephanie, let's make these next few minutes about you, sweetheart. I'm sorry. We're
it's fine. It's not about me. That's the fact.
We're
Anything that I do is not about me. It's about you guys. And that's why I fully support you. So
how did that come about? How did it be that you would be interested in helping us?
Okay.
You knew I was going to go there, so talk about it.
I'm just going to do a quick story of my life and
Please
why I do what I do. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. God.
So
you can cuss if you want to.
I can cuss on this. Okay.
Oh God, yeah.
I may not, but I might.
I just want to offer it to you.
Point. I know I am a little Southern belle now because I live in Mississippi, so.
I'm
but
flirting.
I might say something.
Yeah, I'm flirting. I'm flirting.
You know.
Just so everybody knows.
I'm drinking a glass of wine right now because I'm like, I work all day. You know what? I deserve this.
All right. What are you wearing?
Hell yeah.
Shut
up, Mike.
I have khakis and a red shirt.
I get
got a red shirt and khakis.
I get accused of being a perv.
Oh my God, she's Jake from State Farm.
You gotta understand the profession that I work in. That people would understand because that's what I do.
Yeah. Oh wow.
You know.
Well, tell us a little
nothing
about
like
you.
that. But so anyway, I just like every other college person, I played soccer in college, and we were we would just finish soccer camp. I'm 18 at this point, and a bunch of us girls wanted to go down to the coast, which would be past Christian in Mississippi. And I'm actually from Maryland, but I had a soccer scholarship to play in Mississippi. And I'm like, okay, Mississippi has soccer. Okay, hey, they're gonna pay for my college. Let's go. And and then so we go down to the beach house, and we're all like 18, 19. We're like, oh, we want some alcohol. Okay. I'm like, hey, I got this. I'm good to go. So we're like, let's go to Walmart. And so I had my friend with me, and I was like, let's go to electronics, because that's where all the men are, in electronics. And,
Oh yeah.
That's the man with the money. At least they're going to spend a little bit, and they're not over there by the toy section.
And you don't have to worry about entertaining them.
Buy stuff. So we were there, and I saw 3 men, and there's just one man that just stood out to me. And he had this Laguna Beach t-shirt on. It was like orange and yellow. And I looked at my friend Amy, and I said, I'm going to marry that man.
Wow.
6 months later, we were married. He was jumping in Stennis, Mississippi, so he was actually down there for training. And he's from New York. He's a Italian long, he's
Hey,
pure
man.
Italian. He has that New York accent. Here I
Ah.
am, like Stephanie from Mississippi, like, what are you seeing me? and
Man,
so,
my family's Sicilian, right? And I was born in
oh,
Connecticut.
okay, all right.
What's up, girl?
That's how it is.
Hey, now.
But anyway, so we got married, and we had a baby on the way, and he was at this point he was just a boat rigger and Special Boat Team 20 at this point, and then he had worked his way up, and he was SWIC. He went to Coronado, and
Cool.
and he was SWIC. So basically, what SWIC is they are the support system for the Navy SEALs.
Right.
So they jump out of the airplane, they get in the boat, and they drive it.
Cool.
So they
Right.
do all the crazy shit, with whatever they do.
Awesome.
And
Right, they're the
and
boat drivers for the SEALs.
Yeah.
They drive all the fun boats.
Yeah. Well, they maintain them too,
Yeah.
and the ammo and all that other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
And you know how fun it was for me to be able to come in like on Saturdays or something when they would do jumps in North Carolina. I would drive and just watch them just jump out of airplane. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Jump out of airplane. Okay, we're gonna do it. Stuff you can come. Nope, I'm good. You can jump out of airplane. We're good.
Yeah,
that
I
was
used
our
to.
life.
I used to bring my wife at Fort Rucker, Alabama, and they would take her up in a Huey, and then when we were in Germany, we put her in a flight suit and put a flight helmet on her.
Where were you stationed in Germany?
Giebelstadt NATO Air Base.
Oh, okay, all right.
Right down south from Würzburg, 3rd Infantry Division. Kitzingen,
I've been to Germany
Illesheim.
twice, and I love it there. They're the most amazing people. They're
I know.
so polite.
Du sprichst ein bisschen Deutsch. Ich verstehe Sie auf Deutsch.
I can say English.
Ah, sehr gut. Bisschen Deutsch. See? No? Okay, good. Hey, we have listeners in Heidelberg, so for the morning show.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, we did the whole Bavarian House tour one year, and that was the most amazing thing. And doing the fairy tale castle. And,
I was a helicopter pilot there, so I got to fly around all that stuff. It was fun.
It was just beautiful. It was just there's nothing can describe Germany.
Nope.
Just that it can, because it is so beautiful. The landscape is beautiful. The Alps. There's this place we call it Oberstdorf, and we stayed there, and it was just it's a fairy tale.
Yep.
And that's one thing about the military, and that's why I love it, is that you do get to travel. You do get to see things that you don't get to see in America. But everything in America is amazing, because Anthony and I, we've done 2 cross-country trips where we got to see Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, all the little landmarks here and there, just traveling back and forth, from Virginia Beach to Coronado. And
now, what's Coronado like?
Oh, beautiful. The sand there is just, it looks like gold.
Really?
To me, it looks like, yes, you need to, if you ever get a chance to go to San Diego, it's like right outside San Diego.
I've never gotten, I've gotten to Oregon, and I went up the coast on whatever that is. There's
the coastal highway.
There's me again shooting it down. No, we went from Oregon, Portland area up to like Astoria, and there's that highway that's right there. And it took us like 14 days. It was really cool. But I've never been to California. I've never stepped foot in California.
You know, I was born in San Francisco, but I never remember it. But I kind of have, like, there's a part of me there. You know, there's a part of me on the West Coast.
You left something there, or?
Yeah, one day I'll find it.
Like a foot? I'm just
maybe like, yeah, a shoe, like a baby shoe. I'll come pick it up one day. but yeah, and so we had just the normal life, the normal military life, and so he did 2 deploys over in Germany. He never deployed to Afghanistan or to Iraq or to Kuwait or any of that. And that's what people don't understand, is that it just doesn't happen there. It happens everywhere.
Oh, and, God. Yeah.
It's not, I don't think that PTSD is even so much battle related. It's just the change.
Hey, look, when me and Lieutenant Hennessy were goofing off drunk one night on the streets of Germany, okay, in a little town, it might have been Biberern, a car backfired, and him and I both jumped over a wall and snugged up against the wall for protection.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in like
you don't know.
Yeah, you don't
know.
know.
You're always on alert.
Right.
That's what your job teaches you.
Yep.
And when you are on deployment, doesn't matter where you are always on alert. And so that's one thing that when you're home, you can relax, right?
Yeah, good luck.
Supposedly.
Good luck.
No, and that's the difference, is when you come home, there is no detox from going overseas.
Stephanie, just so you know, I'm a disabled combat vet. Variable Speed Danny is a disabled combat vet, and Captain Pat is a
retired veteran.
Retired combat vet or vet. I don't know. Do you deploy? You were not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can't. You know what's really funny is I'm starting to lose track of people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Being military, Mike, and I do 6 shows a week. I'm on Facebook. I'm on all these social media. Sometimes people contact me and go, "Hey, dog, what's up?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And all that other stuff. And I don't have a freaking clue.
Right. You're sitting there with that deer in headlight looks while you talk to the person, and you're like,
yeah. And they're like, you don't remember.
I had that too. I had that too, but then before I respond, I kind of like do my whole little stalking thing, like, oh, okay, yeah, I completely get, I understand why you're contacting me.
Well, you have. Let's talk about this for a second, since I got you on this. One of the big things is that you were a post-traumatic stress disorder activist, which I know you and Danny got to talk a little bit. Danny being with the Foxhole Support Network. And I can't find my mouse, and sometimes it's really. I hate the way the studio, the DJ that does this. Yeah, I hate. Okay, now I'm mad. You have 11,600 followers.
A little bit.
How does that happen, Stephanie? Help a brother out.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you know. Obviously, you don't know, because you would understand why that happened. On World Suicide Prevention Day last year. So before I get to that, I'm just going to tell you why I do what I do.
Okay.
So my husband, he came back. This was his 2nd deployment, and we were pregnant with our 3rd son. And I was going in for the heartbeat, and he was overseas. I was going in for the heartbeat, and there was none.
Oh.
And I was like 21 weeks along. And I had to deliver my child alone. That is what happens in a military family, is that you are alone because your husband is deployed.
Sure.
And so, but he was actually coming back a week, but they wouldn't let him come home. And he missed our first son's birth because he was deployed, and it's okay. I mean, I understand that we made that sacrifice because that's what we do as women, and we understand what we're getting into. And then, but the first deployment that he went on, he came back and he was a little different. It was just like, okay, all right, just the normal, it's like, it's the military, let's, all hell breaks loose before you leave and all hell breaks loose when you come home. It's the normal. That's what happens. You ask any military family, that's what happens. Well, so imagine coming back on top of what's happening with him that I have no clue about. And then here I am, I had just lost a baby. He comes home. And it was a roller coaster ride for the first couple months.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it put a toll. It put a huge toll on us. And this wasn't the man that I saw in Walmart, the man that I fell in love with. Like, he came back completely different.
Oh yeah.
He lashed out a lot. It was, I don't know if you've heard from a lot of people, as a wife, you walk on eggshells.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for a year. I was walking on eggshells because
Wow.
I didn't know what the hell was going on with my husband.
I can honestly say that I've never been a wife.
No, well, I hope not.
Now look, there's a lot of mountains in Afghanistan, and you get lonely, but I've never been a wife.
There is that Man Love Thursday.
That's funny.
No,
But
it's
then,
not funny. Stop it.
No, a lot.
So-
We have a family group that does that talks to the families, and we try to connect and bridge the gap, because there's a lot of misunderstandings between the soldier and the families, because that is a huge problem with PTSD.
Well,
is they
at this point, I had no clue what PTSD was. Nothing. Not even nothing.
Really?
No.
Now,
And
let me
this
ask you a
was in
question. Now,
2009.
obviously, you're Navy, okay, or it's a
Yes.
Navy family. Now, so before, let's say, the first deployment, did you receive any, for the dependents, did you receive any training on post-traumatic stress disorder?
Nothing. Mm-mm.
Holy
Nope.
smokes.
This was in 2000. That first deployment was in 2006, 2007.
Wow.
Nothing. 2009. Nothing. I had no clue what it was.
that's
God,
crazy.
they beat it into us. I mean, they just.
And then so what happened? He came back and we tried, and we actually had split up for a while
Really?
because he lashed out one day, and it was just over something so small.
Oh, yeah, I'm
And,
sure.
and I know that he always stayed busy. That was his way of coping with what he did, is he stayed busy. We were always spear fishing, always out on the boat in the Chesapeake Bay. We'd dive down and do that. We were big into real estate. We owned 7 properties that we
Wow.
managed. We did a lot. Like, we were entrepreneurs. We worked our way because we wanted to be successful. We wanted to be that family that just wanted to do good, and we did this. But on top of this, there was something inside of him that changed. It just, like, he couldn't function some ways, and then he didn't understand. It was just like he was lost, and I didn't know how to grab him back and bring him back in, and it just put a toll on our marriage.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, if you ask anybody that has PTSD and they are married, it is not easy, not one bit.
No.
So we went through our struggles. We separated, but during our separations, we knew we loved each other. We were there for each other. We would tell each other what we were doing, and the kids. We were so great co-parenting, and then we realized in like September that, like, we love each other. We're getting back to, this is going to work. We're going to make this work. We're not going to be a statistic. We're not going to be that military statistic.
Right.
And so we worked on it, and we were working on it. And then because I loved him with all my heart, every inch of my body. He made me who I am today.
Wow.
And so he had, and this was in November, at the end of October, he's like, all right, well, I've got training at Cherry Point, North Carolina. And he was the boatmaster. And so he was in charge of everything. And so that week, I was working at a law firm in Virginia Beach. And he knew not to call me during certain hours because I'm busy. And, he knows that, like, lunchtime would call me, but he would call me at weird hours. I was like, okay, Anthony, I'll call you as soon as, like, I get a chance. Or he would call me at lunch, and he's like, Stephanie, I'm not getting any sleep. I'm not sleeping. And he's just, like, his words are stuttering, and it's just like, okay, Anthony, what do I do? I don't know what's happening with you right now. So that week, he only had 5 hours of sleep.
Wow.
That week. And this is at home, in home soil. He's just doing training.
Yeah.
He had 5 hours of sleep. And so he comes home. He's like, let's go out. Let's go hang out with the guys. I was like, okay. That night, that whole weekend was a roller coaster ride. It was amazing. Then it was horrible. He wasn't eating. He wasn't sleeping, barely drinking. He just was so gone. And he said that weekend, samurais commit suicide so they don't dishonor their family. And I didn't know about this until after the fact.
Yeah.
He told his mom. She's an amazing woman. I love her so much. Oh my gosh. But she told me, he's like, yeah, he told me that. And so, I'm trying to process this. I'm like, why would you say that? honestly, and I researched. I families commit suicide when they're getting attacked. What was attacking him at home?
Yeah.
He was everything that had been so suppressed inside of him was coming up. And it got to the point where he couldn't handle it. So that Sunday, it was a Sunday, we were up and down, we're driving and we're sitting at the city park and he's sitting there and I don't even know what to say to him. I told him like everything you want to hear, like, I love you, like, everything's going to be okay and this and that. And we're going to make this work. And then it's like, I don't know. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? And it's just like, it was just chaotic. And I honestly, at this point, I was so emotionally exhausted. I just wanted to run my car into the lake because I couldn't understand the frantic in his position. I didn't know who to call. I didn't know who to reach out to. Do I call his commando? I want to get him in trouble. Like, what am I going to do? And I was like, Anthony, we need to get help. He's like, no, Stephanie, you don't freaking understand. I'll lose my security clearance. Yep. If I go get help right now, I will lose my security clearance. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you will lose your security clearance? Like, what are you saying? He's like, and it was so crazy that night.
There is such a stigma in the military.
Short, so 5 hours later, he lost his life. I was not there. I had to leave. I was mama bear. I took my kids because I was scared. At this point in my mind, I was thinking murder, suicide.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do. And what do you do? What do you do? And so we left. And he came over and it got scary. I got scared that he was going to hurt me. And like my last vision of him was walking out. And I'll never forget that last minute that I got to see him. And so I was like, but you have to go home. You have to go sleep. You got to get some rest and we'll talk about this tomorrow and we'll get there. Okay. We're going to get to this point. But right now I got to make sure the kids are okay. And so he goes home to he's with his parents and he keeps calling, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Should I call the police? I have no clue what to do. And his parents are doing the same thing. They don't know what's going on with him. And then, so he kept calling. I had to turn my phone off, as a mom, and just being there to protect my kids and, just being so lost. And then, so that morning at 6 o'clock, the 2 policemen came to my door and, I saw them and I just knew at this moment. I was like, what? And they said, well, I'm sorry, ma'am, but your husband, he committed suicide. He shot himself at 3:35 this morning. He did it in front of his parents. And I just screamed. My kids were asleep. I just screamed like, why? This is a man who sacrificed. This is a man who built an empire for himself. This is a man who's came from nothing. Why did this happen? And then why? That's all I could think about. And just knowing. And then so I immediately went to my phone, turned it on, and his last text to me at 12:35 was, I love you. And 3 hours later, he was gone. And so that's why I do what I do. Because that pain that I feel, that I've felt for years, and I blame myself for so long. Like, what did I say wrong? What did I do wrong? Why didn't I do this the right way? Why did this even happen? How did this happen? Where did he come from? Like, this isn't the man I married. Like, how did this happen? And then so for years, I blamed myself, and it was a big load to carry.
Sure.
And it was. And so I started researching his symptoms. I was like, hold on, there's more to this story. And and from day one, and I'm going to tell it then, I've always said this, is that God did not allow this to happen to me. For number one, he knew I could handle it. Okay, God, I understand that. I have a love-hate relationship with him. I love him to death, but I also have a one-on-one with him. And then the second thing was just like, you have a better plan for me. What is your plan? And I felt that for years. It's like, what am I doing? I'm running circles. Like I'm what's happening? What is my purpose in life now? Like, this is what I was for so long. I was a real estate agent. I was a military mom. I was a military wife. That was my job. That was my job. And it was taken away from me in one split second. And I had no clue why. And so I researched it and I realized that, oh my God, he did that. Okay. All right. Okay. That's, oh wow. And then I realized that he did have PTSD. He just didn't know about it. And he didn't confront it because he was so scared about losing his job.
Well,
So,
I think we've all ran into it. I know that, gosh, I'm going to say around the same time, I was helping out as the unit minister down at the 1177th in LaGrange, Georgia, and the like brigade chaplain came down, and we were all sitting in there, and that's what we were going to talk about was suicides and how many get reported and everything. Now, this is way before anyone figured out the 22 or anything like that. So he said,
and this was at that time frame when it just started happening. And it just like, it was just like this big fluctuation. It's like, oh my gosh, this is what's happening. Why is this happening?
Well, because, Iraq, we were kind of forced, Iraq, Saudi, all in that area in that time frame. It was a brand new way to fight a war. Okay. For us. And then the next thing is that, I don't think the military was prepared. Our military was prepared with telling young folks, hey, go out here in this vehicle that's got cloth doors, with a 50 cal mounted on top of it, and go out there and shoot up cars with people in them.
Okay. And and you say that. But the thing is, it's just not happening now. It's been happening for generations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For generations. I mean, and it's just been swept under the mat. That's why, and after researching and understanding, like, this is a huge problem and nothing has ever been done about it.
Right.
Nothing.
Well, like I say, there can be one case of Ebola, or there can be 100 cases of Zika, and it's on the cover of every magazine. But yet, when you add up to 22, the average 22 suicides a day by veterans, and there's still 23 million veterans that haven't even applied to the VA yet. So that number is absolutely skewed. You turn around and you do that. What would be the number? 8,000 and something a year. You show me something that causes
so much more than that.
Yeah, you show me something that's causing 8,000 to 10,000 deaths a year that's being swept up under the rug.
That's an
like
epidemic.
This. It is an epidemic. I mean, there can be kids that are eating glass.
Yeah.
And it'll be 200 cases throughout the entire 300 million.
And the CDC will say that's an epidemic.
Yeah, and we'll have to stop having glass. But yet.
Yeah.
And then you've got the guy who runs the VA just running his mouth.
Oh, Ronald McDonald, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. Ronald McDonald. There you go.
Ronald McDonald.
He's such a clown.
I think what we all do here is I had a foundation called NAIL, Not All Is Lost, and it was based on I had some aspirations of doing some advocacy. But mainly it was to help, divorced men, because what I was finding when I got back and we were doing drills again with the National Guard and people were, I was still teaching classes. So people were coming up to me at every single drill going, hey man, look, you're so open about your problems. Do you think you can help me out with mine? And unfortunately, because I don't have a doctorate, you have to be very careful. And so I would generally use, at the time we had a fantastic chaplain that I was very close with. And Leslie, I could call Leslie in the middle of the night and she'd go, Mike, what are you calling? And I'd say, look, I got this, I got that. The last guy I helped was an Iraq vet who was just, he was in really bad shape. And in the 24 hours that I was dealing with him, we had foiled 3 attempts. He had tried to commit suicide 3 times. He shot his dog. He was telling his mother goodbye when I showed up the last time with a gun and my body armor. And he's like, why you dress like that? And I said, well, either both of us can get in the car or one of us is going home. and I'm a better shot than you, you know, because it just got to be that bad. Of course, when I brought him to the VA, I had called ahead and they didn't have any type of setup like this, right?
Get me
So-
started on that.
Yeah, the first thing he did was he went in there and told them exactly what they needed to hear. They brought him to Atlanta, to Claremont Road, put him on the 4th floor, which I have been as well. I've spent time on the 4th floor. And basically, you know, vets, unfortunately, where it starts is we think we're all big, tough guys and we don't want to talk about our problems. The next thing is if you do talk about your problems, then the Army turns around. Your Army turns around and all your buddies give you hell about it and you lose your job. Now, thank God this is changing.
And even on top of that, you go get the help with the VA. And what does the VA do? Their way of solution to this is to medicate. It's a cocktail of medicine.
I take 250 milligrams of Zoloft a day.
Okay.
Right.
And that's what they do.
And you're right.
So the reason that I know this is now is that, you know, last year about January is when I decided that I was dedicating my life to this, because I was like, I don't want any other woman or man to feel the pain that I feel every single day. And so, and I started thinking about what do I need to do? And for our community in Mississippi, you know, I live in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I live in Petal, but you know, Hattiesburg is our big city. And I was like, we have Camp Shelby here. A lot of people transition from Camp Shelby there, and they come here and they stay. And I said, what can I do to make sure that the people around me are not going to go through what I go through? So I started just kind of researching. I started getting in touch with the politicians around here. You know, Rick McCluskey, he's running for district, and you know, he's a Marine vet, and I'd sit and talk to him for nights, and we, you know, I was like, this is what I want to do. You know, let's start some kind of nonprofit. Let's get this going, and so we tried to do that, and you know, and a lot of people felt supported, but it was just so unknown. And then on World Suicide Prevention Day last year, September 10th, I was in class. I was a student at Southern Mississippi. I was a business major, and I woke up that morning and I just said, God, okay, all right, I know you said I can handle this, but what is your plan? I need to know today, because I cannot say this. I cannot keep doing this. Because a week before that, I saw a soldier, Tyler Westbrook. He's from West Virginia, and he looked just like Anthony, and just kind of his build and everything just looked like him. And I just felt the pain for his wife and his child. And I said, this has got to stop. And this was last year. And I said, okay, you have got to give me. And he's like, Stephanie, you know, listen, I'm listening. And he said, tell your story. I said, okay, I'm going to tell my story. So I was in between classes, and I just started writing it out on silent cards. You know, I said, what, because I was like, I can't talk about this, and I cry. So I just told my story through silent cards. And on September 10th, 15 minutes before my boys got off the school bus, I made the video and I posted it. And I used Live from Rascal Flatts, because that was the song that I played at the memorial. And, you know, it was like, why? Because that's the first thing that I said. Yep. And from there, the boys get home, and I posted it. I tagged my family in it, and I'm driving to go pick my daughter up. I get stuck at a train. That's our traffic in Mississippi. And my sister calls me, and she's like, Stephanie, have you looked at your video? I'm like, no. And she says, Stephanie, it has over 6,000 views. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jenny, are you serious? Like, and I'm sitting there. And this was just like in 10 minutes.
It took me
and I'm like
3 times to get through your video.
And so I'm sitting there
3 times where I had to stop watching, because it was so, it hit me so personally that I couldn't continue to watch, and I would have to wait and go back and get a few more minutes, and it took me 3 times to be able to get through your entire video.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen, but I felt like it had to happen.
It was a good thing.
Yeah, well, it was just every year I do a tribute for my husband, and this year, like last year was the year that I said, okay, enough's enough. And then so that at that point when she told me that all these people saw me crying, and I said, okay, all right. I'm sitting here thinking, what do I do? What do I do from here? But then I looked up and I said, that's your plan. That's your plan. That's why you allowed this to happen to me, because you knew that you had a plan for me. And so I said, okay. And by that night, it was at 1 million. And at this point right now, it's about at 40 million. On Facebook, it's still
my God.
Shared it. So 40 million is not just in the United States, it's across the world. This is an epidemic that is not just affecting us, but all over the world.
That's
So
awesome.
my Facebook just blew up. It was just like messages. And I'm like, Jenny, you got to take over. I don't even know what to do right now. I don't know what happened, but you know, it's happening because it needs to happen. And I said, here you go. I'm going to drink my bottle of wine. Here you go, because I don't know what to do. And so from there, I realized that, okay, Stephanie, you have a voice. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And I said, okay,
I had no idea.
I'm going to do what I have to do. And I'm just going to go with emotion. So from there, you know, and I had a lot of harassment. And that is one reason. Oh yeah, that is one reason why widows don't speak out about suicide, because there's so much tied behind suicide. It's just like it's a thing you never want to talk about. You don't want to approach it.
Right. It's so, a taboo in the community.
Yeah, it's a taboo. And I'm like, you know what? Our marriage was not perfect. What marriage is perfect? You tell me right now. Any marriage that's perfect, because that's cast in the stone. Can you pass? You know, are you okay? So, but I had people like calling out my daughter. I had people calling me names like slut, this and that. She cheated on her husband. She did this, like, and none of it was true. And I never fed into it. They created a Stephanie Mason Limbo. It's a fraud page. You know, why would you dare do something like that when it's something, because you're trying to make awareness of something that is so powerful.
Oh,
and I didn't understand it. I got to see the evil of the world. And this is the evil, why it's so suppressed, you know, but the law was on my side and they took care of it. So that was pushed aside and it hindered me for a little bit. But then when I got my grasp back, when I realized, okay, you can keep going, because so that night that I made the video, there's a veteran from the city that I live in. And he reached out to me and he said, Stephanie, like you don't understand, like I was about to do it tonight, but after watching your video, I could not put my family through that.
Awesome.
And he's like, you don't understand that you just saved my life. And I was like, no, it wasn't me. It was just because this is what it is. And so I was talking to him and just was able to he opened up to me and he was just like bawling on Facebook. And, you know, I didn't even ever talk to him on the phone or anything. And we're just being friends. And that was just 1 out of 5 within the first week where they were just reaching out to me saying, thank you. You don't even know what you just done for me. And I'm like, it's not me. And then so like I finished up my semester and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what am I going to do next? And, you know, I was working with Active Heroes, and I did my first ruck where we rucked from Petal, Mississippi to Hattiesburg, and we carried 22 pounds, you know, because we're carrying a weight that they could not carry. You know, if anything, we stood out in our community saying, hey, we got your back. You know, this is what we're doing. And that's one thing that I think that is very important for any civilian, anybody that has a passion for this, to stand out and do something like that. So from there, I did that, and then I started coming up with, you know, things that, okay, because, you know, I started working with PTSD service dogs. Like, I raised about over $65,000 to $70,000 for Active Heroes, which is a retreat in Kentucky that they are doing for military families, for them to come and just have an oasis. An oasis. It's not like Disneyland, like, oh, here's all this crowd. This place is so peaceful and relaxed. I was able to fly out there and see it. It's so beautiful. And then a part of that proceeds went to training for service dogs, for PTSD service dogs. And then so that was the first step. But then I said, okay, what am I going to do in my community? So I started thinking about and getting, and Petal did a proclamation for November 22nd on every year that Petal recognizes that we have an awareness in our city for PTSD. That something's going to happen in that day. That just to know that, hey, you live in Petal, we understand as a community, we got your back. You know, everybody has the yellow ribbon, and you know the yellow ribbon, we support the troops. But what are you really doing?
Oh yeah.
You're just, okay, what are you really doing? Are you being active in your community?
No.
So that was another thing for us to get out of that bubble. And then so this veteran that reached out to me, he contacted me about a month ago, and he's like, Stephanie, I just wanted to I want to update you on what's happened in my life. I'm like, yes, tell me, you know. And he's like, so my marriage, we're doing a whole lot better now. You know, I went to a 12-week therapy program, and I'm on the proper medication, not just a cocktail. And he's like, you know, I'm functioning. You know, he started going to baseball games. which he never could do, but now he's going to his kids' baseball games. And then he said, I attained a service dog. Her name is Ellie. I was like, that is so awesome. I'm like crying because it's like just seeing from where he came from to where he's at now. It's like that's all it takes is just the community support.
Yeah.
And he said, but Stephanie, hold on. There's one thing else. So what is it? He's like, I'm scared about going into establishments in our community. I'm like, why? He's like, because of the lack of knowledge of the ADA regulations that they have with service dogs. I said, by law, there's only 2 questions that you can ask. He's like, I know. And I said, hold on, that's an easy fix. Because I have gained a relationship with our mayor here. And so the first town hall meeting, I said, look, this is what I have. I have a veteran that lives in our community that is having an issue because he's scared to go into establishments because he's scared that he's going to be turned away with his service dog. I said, that's not going to happen. I said, what we need to do is we need to send out a reminder of the ADA regulations to all of our businesses. And I said, on top of that, let's explain that not all disabilities are visible.
Oh, yeah.
It's internal too. And so from there, I said, on top of this letterhead, let's attach the ADA regulations. But on top of that, let's put a sticker. Let's put service dogs welcomed here, pedal knows the law.
Oh, wow.
So
That's cool.
let's put that on our establishment. So that way it's a diffuser for our veterans before they even walk into the establishment. They know if they have a service dog that there are only 2 questions they ask. They know that they've read it, and pretty much they know that they're a welcome into our community.
That is such an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Imagine, and listen, I'm very honest. I was in the bathtub just chilling, just thinking about this. Like, what can I do? So if I can do that in the bathtub, imagine what you can think of if you actually put your mind to it.
You don't want to know what I think of in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, is it the bathroom or the bathtub?
Yeah, I would say I was on the. But I was. Okay, I'm gonna lie. I was.
You have to I do some of my best thinking in a hot tub.
I
that's
the truth.
I'm not gonna tell anybody I was sitting on the crapper thinking about having a radio show. But
well, that's why we call it the Oval Office.
I can't believe I just said that. Oh, well, anyway.
Hey, just so you know, hanging around with us, you will. 1, you're gonna lose friends. 2,
I don't care.
2,
but.
I think along with the Foxhole Support Network, I think we'll be talking and
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, and one thing about the community is that the Chamber of Commerce got involved, and so now I walk and I'm going through town and I see all these stickers like everywhere. Imagine if every city you have an ATM awareness. Okay, we have an ATM here. We take Visa. We take this. We do this. No smoke, no out. That's just an awareness, right? That's the whole point of PTSD's awareness is why can we not do this in every city in our nation? To put a sticker like that saying service dogs welcome here. And the purpose of that is a diffuser. Why can't we just do that? It's a simple little step. It's little step.
And let me give you an alternative place to go, not just the Chamber of Commerce, but the Fire Marshal's office actually has the authority to enforce ADA. So they actually, trust me, you can walk into a business that's doing remodeling and the fire marshal can go, yeah, guess what? The bathroom door is not wide enough. You're going to rip out that entire wall and put in a new door, and they'll lose their ever-loving mind. So trust me, the fire marshal.
Why can't we make that mandatory?
Well, and part of the deal is that you need to get with the fire marshal. Go ahead and get with the fire marshal's office so that he can, and talk to him and show him and get him involved as well, or them, not him. It's a neutral
when you're
term.
When you're saying that is that okay? Is Stephanie Limbo? Is she going to be the person to do this? No, I can't do it. I cannot do it all. Well, I'm calling out the people in your community.
Just trying to get
and
help.
Everybody that's listening to this.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody that's listening to this is, let's do this.
Yeah.
You get involved. If you care, if this is passionate about your heart, and if it's on your heart to do something, do that. That's one little baby step that we can take.
Well,
so why not?
The thing about it is generally people that it hasn't affected, okay, they're not going to get involved. The people that have gotten infected, like me, my family members, Look, my family knows that I'm basically a borderline psychopath. When I first got back from Afghanistan, the joke was he's got 90 to 120 days. He can kill somebody and pretty much get away with it. Because that was my thing. I couldn't control this, this 10 seconds of absolutely politically correct, very polite, funny, meaningless guy. And then the 11th second, I was ready to put you down, and it's really funny is because now I talk about it with my shrink, my therapist, and my little mentor guy. But I also talk to my older brother, and I talk to who I call him my brother. He's been my best friend pretty much whole life. And you know what both of my brother and my friends say is that, Michael, when you were a teenager, you used to talk about killing people and how it didn't affect you and how it wouldn't affect you. And so, when you're flying a Cobra and you're skeeting along and shoot a tow missile at a truck and watch body parts fly out and it doesn't affect you, the soldier itself comes home and it may not affect them right now. So
but it will.
It will. You're absolutely right. But the point I think I'm trying to make is that
why do you think it's veterans that are happening? Because it dwells. It's so suppressed.
There's nurses. There's nurses now that are claiming post-traumatic stress disorder because they worked in the emergency room.
And so, but I've always said darkness comes to light. Darkness will come to light.
Yeah, and that's a biblical
in time.
Yeah, it's a biblical reference.
It is, and so, but what we have to do as a nation, as a civilian, as people that you touch every single day, and that you can outreach to people are listening to you, is that hey, we may not physically hold your hand, but we emotionally hold your heart. And that statement right there is such a big, huge thing because they're like, okay, I get that. I understand. You can't help me through this, but you know what? They're leaning. We're a crutch. We're an emotional crutch.
Oh, yeah.
We can be an emotional crutch to our service members. Why not? Why can't we do that? Why? Because we're stuck in our bubble, our own little world. Well, we wouldn't be in that world if it weren't for what you've done. You may not agree with what has happened and why you're over there, but the fact of the matter is that is the nation that we live in, and we should honor it and support it 110%.
We're one of the few countries, we really are, that absolutely, and it's my show, so I can say it, shit on their veterans, I tell you what, I go to, and you're not allowed to take pictures at the Veterans Administration.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I wonder why. Does anybody ever think about that? So I'm in there and I'm always snapping the secret pictures and then posting them on Facebook. And I tell you what, I've been in the Ha Ha Hotel and been around things that blew up, and I've lost the hearing in my left ear, and I got, I've broken bones, and I've had a sinus, what's it called, angioplasty done because, the crap's eating the inside of my brain out. All of these things. I've got rheumatoid arthritis, plantar fasciitis in my feet. I broke my foot, my left leg, my left ankle. So, all these things. Okay. And you know what?
And the thing is, and coming from my point of view, is that I will never understand what you've been through. And people don't understand, they don't understand that, we understand we never can compare what you've been through.
Yeah. And
we never can.
What?
So what do you expect of somebody like me, somebody like my neighbor? What do you expect from them? What do you want to hear from them? And it's like you don't know.
Yeah, I really don't. And you know
really
what happens is,
but if you have somebody speaking out and going out of their way, and if you have a whole community standing for you, they're not giving you money, not doing this, but just saying, hey, we kind of get this. We kind of understand. Doesn't that make you feel a little bit more humble, inside? Okay, well, at least I know, hey, if we start giving resources of, okay, there's a support group, not anything with the VA, nothing with the military, because it's not a safe zone. People that suffer from PTSD, they want a safe zone. They want a place where they can feel like they can let go and understand. And
I want other veterans.
When I came home from Afghanistan, and just before I left for Afghanistan, my daughter had been in a terrible accident. My fiance and I had broken up, and actually, I found out he got married to somebody else while I was in training. So
Yeah,
it was
well,
it was
you know,
awesome.
guys are
experience. Well,
dirtbags.
a lot of crap
That's
had happened
a trigger
before.
point. That's
Yeah.
a trigger point.
Guys are dirtbags.
So I came home. I didn't have a home to go to. I stayed with my parents for a little while until I was, working my way on getting my own place. When I got my own place and I was going to set up my bills and get, the electricity and the water and all the other stuff turned on, as I'm going from these places, and you come from a military life where you've been nonstop for 2 years or better, where you've had everything, where you go into an office, you say, I need this, they give it to you, you sign for it, it's done.
Right.
So you're coming home and you just want to turn your water on, and you've got to bring in like 27 forms of ID, the firstborn child, and a train ticket for a train you've never even been on. It's just like all of these incredible hoops you have to go through to do something so simple. As a veteran sitting across from that person is looking at them like, all I want to do is turn my water on. It's that simple. Just turn it on.
Now imagine if you had if you were in that position in your life, that transition position, if you had your community standing back there for you, and all you had to do was show up and said, this is my problem, can you help me fix this? And let them take control, and you work with them, and you have that second hand crutch, that person behind you, your whole community behind you to get you where you need to be. Doesn't mean we're going to give you money, do this, but just say, okay, let's make this an easier process. Wouldn't that help you?
That would have changed a lot of things for me, because at the end
so
of this
why
day,
why are we not doing that?
Well, I don't think it's us, Stephanie. I think communities. Now, this might be different where you live, but I have a gun that I basically stuff in my pants when I go take the trash out. So
well, yeah, and that and I understand that, but I live in South Mississippi where we carry guns everywhere.
But that's because y'all are looking for dinner.
We are. That's a possum on the side road. Let's get that.
You are adorable.
But what I'm trying to say is that everything starts off. I personally, not just me, but people that hear this, you are a pebble, right?
Yes.
And what happens when you throw yourself and you put yourself in the line and you throw yourself into a big pond, right? It's a ripple effect. And if we could have more people stand out and speak out about it, the ripple effect is what we need in our nation right now. We need a ripple effect for our veterans.
Okay.
And so if I could be that, if you could be that, and what you're doing right now is speaking out against it, you are a pebble.
Aw, you just called me Pebbles.
Oh, Pebbles. Have you ever watched that movie? I love that movie. But but that's how I look at anything in life, is that if you stand for something, you do it, and you do it 110%. And you don't go in full force. You take baby steps, because that's how you learn, is through baby steps.
Yep.
And that one little pebble, it will eventually ripple out. And then what happens after it ripples, it calms down. So if there's a problem, there's always a solution.
Okay.
It may not be the solution you want right now, but it's going to be a solution that is going to solve that problem.
Oh, yeah. Now, Stephanie, let me ask you a question here real quick. Do you have, and maybe I missed it, I'm a good-looking guy, I'm just not that smart. Is there a name to your activist program?
So I am an independent advocate. I go for what I have my gut feelings for and what I believe in. So next week, actually next weekend, I'm flying out to Dallas. It's called Kill 22, and they're doing a 22K hike.
Okay.
And this is in Dallas. I live in Mississippi, and and I have some great supporters. People that there's this guy Tank. If you look him up on Facebook, he is so amazing. I looked at his video. He's so cool. It's just chill out, relax. If you research Kill 22, you'll see him. And so what we're doing next weekend is we're hiking for 22K, and all it is bringing awareness. and there's going to be hopefully about 500 people participating in this. And I don't know if I'm singing the national anthem. I don't know, but at this event, I don't know what's happening. I'm just going because that's what I'm passionate about.
We,
hang out with you.
At Just for Fun Radio, we do that. I showed up for this thing called Bite Night. It was about the filming of the Vampire Diaries. They do it right down the road from our studio. And there was about 5,000 people in a big thing. As soon as I walked up, one of the other DJs handed me a microphone and said, "Here, make these announcements." And you're like, "Hey, what's up?" So
you just go with it. And then so if you I'll give you the link. If people are in the Dallas area, if you want to come participate, please come do it, because anything, the way I say, is anything, if you're bringing awareness, that's all it takes. There's not one way. There's so many different ways.
Well,
and the way I looked at it, it's all about talking.
Yeah, I mean, you got like 50 million people viewing your thing. Let's can we kind of merge a little bit together there, Variable Speed? You think we can kind of help each other? Because
absolutely,
our group is 2,500.
Yes,
and it's very recent and very active veterans. We are also,
and if this is a place, and I fully support this. If this is a place where people can come to and they can open up,
yes,
and that's all about it is opening up and talking about your experience. If you don't want to listen to it,
yes, that's
listen to it.
Well,
and because there's something that somebody might say that day that is just going to be so comforting to you, knowing that there is hope and that there is a chance, that there is resources for you, and that you're not alone. And a lot of people feel is they're so alone, but you're not. You are not alone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That is the biggest thing about the Foxhole Support Network is that it is peer-to-peer.
Yeah,
support.
it's in the foxhole. And I can't tell you how many times now that somebody will come on there and say, "Look, I'm not feeling too good." Oh, boy. They get phone calls. They get Facebook messages. They're talking private messages. The next level on that is if somebody goes off the deep end a little bit and won't communicate.
We find him.
I mean, the last person I called, I think it was his sister. I did some research and a little skip tracing. I found his sister and she said, "Well, I haven't talked to him about a week." And I said, "Can you get in touch with him right now?"
We are sneakier than the CIA when it comes to a veteran.
We dug him out. And you know what?
And our veterans don't need to think that they're going to be, but when you're at that point, people like you and I, people like them, anybody, is the way I look at us as that we are the safety catch. On a gun, there's a safety trigger, right? There's a safety thing.
Well, we don't call it a safety trigger because that would be a contradiction.
What do you call it? Is it safety?
It's just a safety. Just a safety. So you don't know how to shoot, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and that and if we did it a metaphor, that's kind of what we want to be. Is that we want to be that last second decision, like, okay, if there's nothing else that's there for you, we're there. And it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah,
it is a hard. I don't know personally if I could do that.
Yeah. Well, how about this? How about we do the situational awareness thing? But the thing about it is, because a lot of times, I'm not going to lie to you, being a someone who attempted suicide numerous times, I can tell you, one, you don't listen to anybody. When it's gotten that bad, you don't want to hear anybody.
Yeah.
You want people to hear you. The next thing is that one of the times that I did it, it was a neurotransmitter problem in my brain. I had basically short-circuited with all the medication I was taking. And basically it just drove me into a complete and utter depression in which I was just seeking out a way to kill myself. So what the point I'm trying to make here is okay, situational awareness, I think we've got to go after it. Now, look, there are a lot of folks out there that are currently suffering. Thank God they found the right medication, the right dosage. I'm doing great. There are my days, though. But for the most part, do
you believe in cognitive therapy?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? I believe.
Because after the research that I have done, is that is what I've found.
Okay.
Be the most successful.
Well, I tell you
cognitive therapy.
Stephanie, I'm not going to lie to you. I was being reevaluated for part of my disability. And I went to a shrink, okay, from a different complete. Now the shrink I go to on a monthly basis has been doing it for 35 years. She is like the most experienced person in that mental health field, okay, in the southeastern United States, Dr. Nadu, and she's world renowned. She travels all over the world. She's known everywhere. She's got 1 million awards. They send me for my compensation. They sent me to a woman, as God is my witness. If she was 28 years old, I would lick your toes in the middle of freaking New York, freaking Broadway. She literally had a book that said PTSD for Dummies, and it had a whole bunch of Post-it pads in it. And this chick hands me a freaking piece of paper that has a freaking rhinoceros, a giraffe, and a lion on it. And she says, "Can you identify these?" I said, "How about if I punch you in the face?" And she's like, "Why are you being so hostile?" I said, "Did you just take a shower? Because one, the shirt you're wearing looks like something you probably wore out last night partying. Two, am I being punked? Is Ashton Kutcher going to come around?" I was so mad. Now, my daughter had brought me to it, and in basically about 15 minutes, she was in tears. I was livid, and my daughter was fighting with the nurse to get back in the back to get me, because I have been locked up at 2 VA facilities, including the main one downtown, and it was over a parking thing. And that's I know. So
Parking. Oh,
so I understand what you're saying. And look, I love the concept, but I think the difference in
that's
communities.
The thing, it's the lack of knowledge. It's a lack of knowing how
people don't care, sweetheart.
No, but
They
why?
don't care. They don't care.
They care. Did they not care about cancer?
No.
They did.
They care about
But
cancer when they get cancer, or when mommy and daddy or the brothers get cancer.
But if people start standing out, and if our community, if our nation starts standing out, and that's something that, you've got to have that hope. You got to have that faith.
I'm there.
Keep going at it.
I'm there.
You
Look,
keep
I'm
going
military,
at it, like what
Mike.
you're doing right now.
I'm doing all these shows. I speak out. I do all these events.
And it's like it's like a dead end, right? But how is that dead end going to be fixed? The only way that this is going to be fixed is if it goes into politics. If it becomes a part of the news.
Yeah, but I mean, in the state of Georgia,
it's going to get fixed exactly how Agent Orange got fixed with Vietnam. After enough veterans die off, the VA will finally admit, and then they'll start doing something.
Let's be realistic. The VA handed out $110 million in bonuses in 2015.
Okay, but and the thing, and this is where I'm going towards about the cocktail of medicines too, right? That's their solution to our problem.
Yeah, well, it shows me.
And you don't understand that I have had thousands of testimonies given to me. I've read these things, and the same story. It's the same story that they go for help. Mm-hmm. They go for help, and what happens? They get 7 different prescriptions, and what happens from there is that they get discharged. Same story. And what happens there is that they become so dependent on these medicines, on sleep medication, on antidepressants, on anxiety medicine. And what happens, and from one of the stories, not one, but many of the stories, is like, my husband, I came home, melting in the couch. A month later, he was gone. He couldn't take it anymore. He's like, I don't understand. So that's why I'm pushing for cognitive therapy.
Okay.
But the VA is not going to do that.
No.
And I will call them out. It's because it is a multi-billion-dollar industry that if they were to stop prescribing these medicines, imagine the amount of money that would be lost.
Yeah,
because they're not making money off these prescriptions.
Okay, now
think about that.
I got to get off the radio here, but let me.
Sorry.
You're fine. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Listen to me. Check this out. I've been getting a disability check. Okay, now at first it was only 10%. I deployed, and I was on Title 10 orders a couple of times. Okay, all of those times that I deployed or that I was getting National Guard drill pay, the VA is taking that money back. My question is why? I was still disabled. Okay, so then I deployed. I was gone for about a year. So the VA is taking that money back as well. Okay, now get this. So they give me an allotment of money, my disability on a monthly basis. Then they take back about half of it. Now get this. I'm on 2,700 milligrams of gabapentin a day. Now every doctor I go to outside of the VA tells me that's borderline criminal to have that much gabapentin going in your body every day. Okay, but if I don't take it along with about 6,000 milligrams of Tylenol, you can't deal with me because the pain in my legs is so bad. That's my story.
Yeah.
But check this out.
Well, and I'm not against that. If
Oh,
that's
no,
what's
no, I
happening,
am.
And if it's
Yeah.
But
I- I'm-
but it's whatever. If it's the right prescription and it's helping you, then I understand.
Yeah, but
But I listen. I am no scholar. I'm not a doctor. I'm not.
Oh, no.
I
Listen to
see
me.
for things like for what it is.
Yeah. Listen to me. They give me the medications. They charge me for it. And when I don't pay it, they either take it out of my benefits or they send it to a collection agency and they brag about it. We have recouped $1 billion from veterans by, charging them for,
by stealing back from them what they earned.
So when do I see what you're saying, communities, yeah, but you know what, until we get somebody up top that takes a look at this nonsense and says, seriously, you're a government agency and you're passing out $110 million in bonus money, and the reason why you're getting the bonuses is because those piece of shits that work in the freaking scheduling thing say, okay, if we schedule everybody and then we cancel them, it looks like we scheduled more than we could possibly do, and we're working real hard down here. I don't know about you, but I've spent a lot of time in VA hospitals, and I'm here to tell you I have never once in my entire life really seen anybody that I would consider to be above average. Everybody I know,
Not that works
That
there.
is so sad.
everybody
so
I have
sad.
ever seen, and you know what? I've been going to VA hospitals since 1990. And
All
let
right.
me tell you
Put
something.
yourself in my situation as a civilian, even though I am on TRICARE right now.
Right.
But put yourself in my situation. If I had some other insurance company that I'm paying $300 a month, right?
Sure.
And what you have done is that you have done your job, and that was part of your, the reason why you joined is because of the healthcare, right?
Well,
so if you're working as a civilian, and you're paying this amount, wouldn't you expect the best quality and the best service?
well,
Because that's what your job is. That's what it's for. But our nation has completely failed with the VA.
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Completely failed.
And then, they say that times are getting better for appointments. I agree. Times are getting better.
Because
but-
half of us don't bother going.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Now, the other part is that, okay, what they do to make it look like they're doing something is everybody puts in their claim and they just disprove them, turn them down, whatever. And that way, oh, look how many I went through.
We've processed 5,000.
Yeah, but we didn't.
But we've
do
denied every
anything.
single one of them because we didn't have the time to actually look at them.
Right. Now, here's the really hard part. Let's say you do, you finally get your rating. And of course, they use this ass backwards math. You're 70%, but we're only going to pay you at 50% because blah, 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 blah. And it actually says that on their website, which is crazy.
Well, what it is you can be 50% disabled because of one of your issues, and you
Right.
can be 20% disabled because of another issue.
Right.
But what they do is they overlap them. It's 50% plus
why?
20%
Yeah.
does not equal 70%.
No civilian would stand for that if there was in the civilian market.
Oh
Okay,
no,
all right,
they raise hell.
All right,
Well,
let
no,
me-
you do the same thing to the politicians that's being done to the
There-
service
there-
members,
there-
and
okay,
watch how
there's a
fast it
case-
gets fixed.
Yeah, but
There's a case in Arkansas, and this is something a wife reached out to me, and so he has PTSD, and he had knee surgery. Well, he was prescribed this big dosage of medicine, and so this started in January, and through this, he's become addicted to these pills, the VA told him that he was going to be on 100% disability. So she had to quit her job because she became a caregiver because she had to be there for him 24/7.
Yeah, man.
So he's prescribed all these different kind of medications. And what happened is that in a 24-hour period, he was prescribed 90 Ativan.
Jesus.
And he took 90 Ativan in 24 hours.
Oh.
Because he felt like nothing was happening. Like it was something that and this is not the person that he was, is what she was telling me.
Yeah. And there's millions of stories like that.
And then so what happened, but let me tell you, this is where the VA is also falling through the cracks. What happened is that he's like, okay, this is not working, I'm gonna get something else. I can't take the other prescription. But what he did is he found on the streets and he found a pill that looked like Ativan, and he filled the prescription up, and he called his doctor and said, "This is not working." And he went back into the VA with these fake pills. They didn't even check them, and they prescribed him another 90 prescription of whatever it was. So he had all this medicine inside of him because the VA failed to check this prescription that he turned back in.
Oh yeah,
that is a problem.
Yeah,
that because of the lack of education, the lack of the people that are hired to work there, is that they need, if you work in any job, you have to follow back on your job. You have to do your job right. But the VA is failing with that.
Well, that's what they get when they hire people who are fresh out of the Walmart service center.
Exactly.
Well,
and why? But these are for people that sacrifice their life every single day. Why are we failing this? Why is this happening?
I don't know.
And it makes me so mad because the thing is that I had to call their Congress member.
Oh, I call Senator Isaac's office and they say, "Hi, Mike." I don't care.
I told him, I said, this is what's happening. If this guy commits suicide, it's because of your fault, because I'm giving this to you right now. This is in your state, and you need to take control of this, and you need to get these people the proper help that they need, because if not, you're going to have another 22 on your hands. And that's going to be one of the statistics. They don't care, but if people like you and I stand up, and if like you and I, and if it comes up with both sides, if we start standing up for it and voicing our opinion, it's going to happen eventually. Eventually, it may not happen right now, but it will, because this is an epidemic. We have to stop this, because these are the people that I love. These are people that you love. These are people that the reason why I am what I am today.
Right.
If you think that I would like to be a single mom, 29, when 10 years ago I was thinking I was going to have a normal life, I'm not. I am just like everybody else in this world.
Yeah.
No, I strive for that American dream. I want that happy family. I want that, but I don't, because our system failed me.
I will stand behind you 100%.
They did not let me know what was happening.
I say let's band together and let's start kicking some ass and taking some names.
Absolutely.
You guys be nice to people, and I'll be a raving lunatic. I don't have any problem with it.
Hey, listen, let me do the girl part. Let me do the understanding part, because that's because I am a mom and I understand.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll do
people reach out to me and I'm there for them. I may not be there immediately, but eventually I am going to touch back bases with you, because you are important, because you are a civilization. Our point of the whole, we are supposed to grow. And the only way we grow is if we touch out to other people. We can't do this alone.
I can make this real easy. It really is. Yeah, sure. I will be the raving lunatic. I'm perfectly okay with that. I have no
Listen, you need to get in contact with some of the people that I know.
Okay.
Tank is, I don't know him personally, but just like listening to him, he's great. There's also Don O'Malley. He's a Revelant Warriors. He's pretty awesome. He is so crude, but he is amazing at what he does. And there are people across the nation. If you just go out there and research and touch base with them, they are so willing to make this happen.
Okay.
And, from a widow from Petal, Mississippi, a little small town, having a voice and having to be able to reach out to these people and then fully support what I believe in, because they believe in it. If we can bond together and we can start a home front in our nation, why can't we do this? Doesn't mean we have to go with one organization. It means that we are just Americans.
Let's start latching them together and start. Hey, look, I'm perfectly okay with killing people. It doesn't bother me a bit. I'm sorry, that slipped out. I have no inner monologue. Was that out loud?
Inner monologue. Mike,
Okay.
inner monologue.
Hey, look, Steph, it's fantastic getting to know you. We are going to be in touch with you. There's no doubt. The Foxhole Sport Network definitely wants to band up with folks like you. I'm sure it'll help our program. Hopefully,
at
we'll
least
help
I
yours.
would be able to give you the resources. You know, just like I said, I was doing that next weekend, but the following weekend I will be in Charleston, South Carolina, doing a Zumba event.
No
Zumba,
way.
people that dance.
No way. I've heard of it.
Yes.
I drove by
Zumba.
a gym
and
the
Zumba,
other day.
we're doing it's with Active Heroes and Jeff he's a Zumba instructor in Charleston, South Carolina, and he is a veteran, and he has created this thing where I will come and I'll speak, but he has gotten all these people from around the area, and that's all it takes is from one person speaking out and grabbing these people and coming in and let's make this happen. Let's make
do
it
it.
happen.
I'm all about it.
And it doesn't matter. If you want to paint, let's paint. If you want to go out and do a trampoline fest, let's do a trampoline fest. Whatever to bring awareness, whatever to bring, whatever we have in our community, let's do it.
I'm kind of a fat guy. It's when I get on a trampoline, it ain't pretty.
Hey, I'm a mama 3. There might be, I might need some depends on that one.
Yeah, you're still carrying yourself well. Let's just say.
I'm old. I don't jump on anything.
Yeah. I'd shoot. Steps confuse my body. So.
But I do believe in this. Let's get this done. Let's work on it.
Let's do it. The good Lord has brought us together once again. All right, look, hey, I got to get off the radio. They're going to make me pay extra. I'm joking. They don't make me pay for this. All right, Stephanie, we're going to be in touch. Thank you so much.
It was amazing to meet you.
It really was. Great story. I'm all teary-eyed. Now I'm bummed out.
No, don't be.
I'm gonna go home and watch a Star Wars movie.
You're gonna go home and watch Delta Farce.
Watch The
No, he's
Pursuit
gonna
of
fall
Happiness.
asleep.
Watch what? Watch what? What'd you
The
say?
Pursuit of Happiness. I watched that last night.
Oh my God!
I gotta work in the next morning. Why am I watching this?
I just threw up in my mouth.
Okay, before I leave,
before
I let you go, is that one thing that I've realized that has helped me daily as personal is that every morning there's some kind of motivational from somebody. I give a motivational testimony. Last night I watched Pursuit of Happiness. It's like, if you want it, get it done, right?
Yep.
So I have something every morning that gives me some kind of quote. If I don't like it, I go search for it. If you find that one motivational that's going to get you through that day, you personally through that day, doesn't matter what you do in your life, if you find that one motivational quote and you think about it, your life will change. So tomorrow when you wake up, you think about that motivational quote, you look for it, and you find something that's going to apply to you that life, that day, and you go for it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I could go on about.
Bring that down a notch because my motivation is just being alive. Annoys the shit out of your ex-wife, Pat.
Hey, Stephanie, I hope I'm not being too forward with saying this, but if you'd like to call me in the morning, everybody, just kind of thinking that worked for me, but yeah.
Listen, hey, I'm at that point in my life. It's like you got retirement.
Yeah. Oh, I'm fun to snug with too, man.
I'm done.
I'm a diehard romantic. I love kids.
He's got a dog.
I got a dog. Shoot, I live on a horse farm, 150 acres. Yeah, man. Homeschool the kids, and I'll kill our dinner. We're there.
Well, I appreciate that. That's great because I've got some marriage proposals around the world.
I bet you do.
They're like, we have a farm. I have a goat. I worship your feet, but I marry you. Will you marry me?
I get those too. They're always trying to get me to send them $1 million.
Wait a minute. Did you just do like a crazy accent?
She did.
Let's hear that accent. Come on, do it. Come on. I know you can hear me. Don't act like you can hear me. This is Pakistan.
It's like I love you long time.
Ah, that's Korean. Oh my God, she went Asian on us.
I have no money, but I take care of you.
Oh, wow.
See, I like this chick. I think we can hang out. We could be besties.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to stand up for a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and get off the show. Hey, Steph, thanks again, and we will be in contact with you, okay?
Oh, yes, definitely. And I will fully support you guys, and I appreciate you reaching out to me. I said, I'm just one voice in a small town, but hey, that's all it takes.
I don't believe that at all.
It
I think
always
you got a
starts
big
somewhere.
voice. All right. Thanks
Oh.
again.
All right.
All right. Good
I
night.
appreciate it. Y'all have a great night.
You
Thank you.
too. You too.
All right, bye.
Wow. Why can't I be amazing?
You are amazing, Mike. I'm amazed you're here.
I'm amazed I'm still awake. Not that it was a boring story. It's just 9:30,
No.
man. Come on. I'm an old
It's-
guy. It's time. You know what?
It is time.
Gosh, dog. Listen to the passion in her voice.
Absolutely. I love it.
The passion. You know what? It kind of charged my batteries again.
Yep.
It did.
Me too.
I stole some energy. I'm like one of those Mortal Kombat dudes. I like flawless victory, and I stole some of her soul or something because she charged my batteries, and now my little brain is clicking away on what we can do.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
there too. I'm as a matter
You know
of
what,
fact,
it's
I'm
good
juiced up,
that-
ready to go.
Yeah, it's good that people, she doesn't have to care. I mean, her husband's gone. He did what he did. He served. She could just go on about her life. Attractive woman, smart. Great kids. I imagine she could probably, be a doctor and go off and live in paradise with the white picket fence and 3.1 kids and 2.3 dogs and blah blah blah.
No, I saw this video months ago and I was amazed by it. And it's true what I said. It took me a couple of tries just to get through it. But
I saw it on Facebook and I watched it, and then I kind of reached out to her a little bit when I saw because I wasn't 100% sure what a post-traumatic stress disorder activist was, because that could go so many different ways. And I figured it would go along with the show. You know what? I'm going to be honest. We got to get going though. Look, I'm going to be honest. I want to talk to the National Guard in
I
this state.
100% want to get in there and really talk to them.
How do we do this? Should I talk to Colonel Carter or something?
Start there. Let's talk to Colonel Carter. Let's get him on board.
Kim this weekend. She works up there too. She knows Bobby Berkshire, and you know what? Bobby. We have truthfully and honestly have a tremendous amount of soldiers that are drilling in armories all over the state, not to mention all over the world. But I think we all know that the citizen soldiers have been used extensively in Iraq and Afghanistan, and these guys have to come home and go right back to work. So the double frustration there. And then of course they have to come back worried, do they have jobs? And how do you go from active duty deployment pay to, well, nothing?
And not just that, but coming home to your families that have been carrying on without you for a year, and you have to find your place back in the family.
Absolutely. Citizen soldiers, I love them. Now, listen, I want to get in these armories, and I want to have, there's a lot of venues that I know of that are having comedy nights, and I'll get up there and make an ass out of myself if we can try to draw these folks in for, free cover, and maybe
let's do it.
We get to hand out a couple things to them and give them some direction. Maybe not. You know what? Military One Source. I've always heard about Military One Source. Do you know that I've never looked at their webpage?
I have dozens of times.
Have you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the only thing I've ever called was the suicide line.
Really? Okay. When I was out of work, I called the suicide hotline, and I talked to that woman for so long that she literally took a break, went outside, killed herself. I called back and tried to get her job. Welcome to Moe's. Hey, we got to get out of here. Captain Pat, you got anything else?
No.
It is over and
Dino,
done.
You're up past your bedtime. School tomorrow?
My bedtime is never.
Yeah. Truthfully, honestly, the kid's a vampire. And I saw him sucking on a freaking apple the other day.
Yeah.
He hangs
if he
upside down.
sparkles in the daylight, that's it.
He does fart rainbows. Skittles.
So do I.
Yeah, no, those were those were thunderclouds, baby.
Death.
I love you.
There was no
Those
rainbow
were
in there.
Yeah,
That's a no from me.
yeah, brown, and brown. So
Yeah.
Hey, well,
3 shades of brown.
yeah. Is that a
50 shades
rainbow?
of
No,
brown.
that's a turd smear. Yeah. So, yeah, keep
That's
yucking
the
it up over there,
aftermath.
variable speed. All right, I love you. What else you got? Anything? You want to post it? Put anything out there to anybody? Is anybody left?
no, I don't think.
I
No,
think-
there's
No,
nobody
we're,
left.
we're not even watching YouTube. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, everybody say goodnight to everybody.
Good night,
night, everybody.
everybody.
This is Military Mike. It's the world according Mike. And hey, you know what? Block up your down. And I was gonna sing a song. I heard Foreigner today. double vision.
I
Which,
did too, but you know, that was at the gas station.
heard
But
Foreigner.
bump.
Yeah, yeah. Time to
Is
go.
you good
Yeah.
now?
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Tschüss.
Ah.
Say goodnight on this damn thing.
Yeah,
over
Good
here.
night on
bye,
this
bye,
damn
bye.
Good
thing.
night on this damn thing. All right, we're transitioning over to that. Let me get the rest of it. Where's the rest of it? It's over here.
No, I did not.
Such a little